Hello guys, this is San Cortero, and today we are going to be talking about who your future spouse is. So we will be talking about specifically their upbringing, their personality, their character, what they're like in a relationship, and their appearance. So for this reading, I kind of just wanted to be able to get a good idea of who your future spouse is as a person, why they are that way, and how that person manifests themselves in a relationship. So you have 3 piles to choose from. Pile 1 is the owl. Pile 2 is the turtle. He's a funny guy. And pile 3 is the shark. He's very white, so it gets really washed out, and when you're far away, you can't see his face or anything, but he has a face. So I wanted to say a few things first. I'm filming this intro after I filmed all the groups, and also probably 2 weeks after I filmed all of the groups. So the setup is different. You'll see I have a different background in the actual groups, and also my audio keeps being weird, so excuse the audio if it's grainier in some piles. I don't really know what's going on. But yeah, this is your reading. So what I'd advise you to do is just sort of meditate on the type of person that you imagine your future spouse is, and then sort of meditate on the energies of these individual groups and see which group's energy is aligned the most with the energy that you think your future spouse is going to be in. So take a few seconds, minutes, sort of figuring that out, and we'll hop into your reading. Hello, pile 1. This is your pile. You're the owl. Yeah, you probably knew that. But anyway, so I have some messages for you right off the bat that I channeled. So the owl, because I have filmed this 20 times, that's why, sorry. But the owl, so first of all, the owl person probably gives you messages. Their higher self probably gives you messages right now through things like music, TV shows, silly little clips that you watch, serious clips that you watch. Yeah, documentaries. Oops, sorry. Movies, stuff like that. I probably already said movies, TV shows, music videos, things like that. Little messages through very airy ways of communication. They could very much be an air sign, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. I'm probably getting that vibe from them. I mean, most definitely getting that vibe from them. Yeah. So welcome to your reading. I will say I channeled, so yeah, as I said, I channeled some messages before, but I had to redo this many, many, many times because I've just sort of been very, very chaotic, and I ran into just some technical roadblocks, so I'm doing your reading over again. And so I don't know, I'm not going to make really any assumptions about what it is, but I know still, I mean, it's the same type of person. It's still the owl person, and I'll just see if the same sort of messages are coming out as yesterday. So this is your reading, so it's going to be all about your future spouse. So we're going to talk about just sort of the emotional journey that they took to become the person that they are today, and what events, what things formed them. So we're going to talk about their upbringing, their personality, their character, their appearance, and what they're like in a relationship. And that's just sort of the various little bullet points that I have written down. And I have some music playing in the background that mainly is not for you to hear, but for me to just see and maybe me here to potentially channel some things for a little bit. Not like, I mean, just like randomly channel things. Sometimes I get confirmations in music and such. But yes, hopefully you can hear me fine. I don't feel, I haven't felt like stopping these videos and listening to them over again. I just keep re-recording them, and maybe I am inaudible, but who knows? Not me, so we'll find out later. Sorry if you can't hear me. I don't feel like projecting my voice that loud. I'm sitting like a few feet away from my laptop, which is doing the recording, so yeah, just bear with me, please. So we have a few chaotic messages coming out. I'm not taking reversals because it's easier for me to focus on the energy of the card, and I can just sort of intuitively tell whether or not it's a blocked energy based on, how it comes out, the context, what other cards are there, etc., etc. So, yes, and I'm just going to be channeling in real time, and I channel very, very, very intuitively. Okay, so first we're going to ask about their upbringing of your future spouse. So we know there's someone that sits back and observes, so we already know a little bit about their personality. So my guess is we're going to be getting some messages about what gave them this personality, what events have shaped them. And I also have a timer that goes off that helps me keep track of the time. So right now we have the Page of Wands and the Knight of Swords. Oh my god, this is so weird. Okay. Yeah, so the Page of Wands and the Knight of Swords. Okay, so this is... Oh my god, well, you know what? The Knight of Swords actually came out yesterday, too. So I think it could be a similar energy. But let me tell you, it was not like the happiest thing. And so the fact that the Page of Wands came out is pretty good. So hold on, let's see. So I think their upbringing was maybe a little juvenile, but it was fine. It was, maybe that is wonderful. Maybe their parents, I think their family was just very, very, maybe a little chaotic, but still, put together. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, this was wonderful. So they definitely, oh my god. Okay, hold on. Let me see if anything else wants to come out, because let me tell you. Okay, yay! So yeah, so let me tell you, the beginnings it was just sort of hard to shuffle it. My deck was very chaotic, and that is probably, oh my god, and that just shot out right here. So that's wonderful. Oh my god, yeah, okay. I think that my guides are also telling me, stop shuffling, because I have a lot of stuff going through. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, their upbringing was good, it was maybe a little chaotic. Maybe they were a little bit of a chaotic family, maybe outsiders didn't really understand them. Maybe they were a little quirky. And maybe they also, this could just be for some people, but maybe their family can have a very abrasive nature, but in a very playful way, or to them it's very playful. So maybe to other people it's sort of like, oh my god, that family is intimidating and I think they all hate each other. But to them they're like, oh my gosh, no, we love each other so much. And maybe they don't say that, or maybe they do say it but only in very intense circumstances. But ultimately, oh my god, these all, I felt the need also, I'm very intuitively doing this spread, so I felt the need to just sort of have these be their own little clump, and then these two were their own little clump, and then this guy just shot out. It was so sweet. So I think that ultimately there was a lot of love in their family. So I think that Oh, and Halo is playing right now, so that is wonderful. So I think that very much their family, oh my god. So their family was, it was chaotic, and maybe growing up they felt like it was a little chaotic, and maybe that wasn't the best for them. But especially because I feel like they are this sort of owl person, just I guess naturally, because so yesterday the spread I did, it was more so like this owl response was more so of like a trauma response from some sort of neglect from their family. But I'm getting here more so it's like their family is just like this wonderful little nest of silly little people who show that they love each other by like maybe like nagging, getting on each other's nerves, maybe even like, you know, for some people like physically like wrestling them to the ground. I know that sometimes, you know, people, some families do that, like kids just like sort of tackle each other, but it's like in a very playful way. And so I feel like that could be the case, and maybe growing up they were this sort of naturally more a low-key person who didn't really do the stuff that their family members did, or they didn't show love the way that their family members showed it. And so maybe it took them a long while to learn that their family members did really love them, and that their actions do convey just sort of an undying loyalty to them, and just like a devotion and an unconditional love that is going to be like a wonderful foundation for you guys to have a family off of. Oh my god, this is so cute. It's so cute. Look at it all. Oh my god. Okay, we'll see if, hold on. Oh my god, it's so sweet. Okay, so, okay. I think this is probably all I should talk about their family. Sorry, hold on. First, I'll just see if any, like, oh my gosh. I'm gonna see if any just any other sort of messages want to come out. Because this is also very much my sort of family deck, the one that I'm initially channeling. Oh, the Page of Pentacles. So you have 3 pages. The Page of Pentacles. So they very much like, they are a giving family, and I think that that'll rub off on how they treat you later in a relationship. And that's going to be, that's going to be what we're going to be, that's going to be something we're channeling next. So also the 6 of Swords and the 5 of Wands. So maybe it took some hardships in their family though. Like it wasn't all this. There was still, you know, there was, I mean, and it's not even bad energy, but it's just energy of like me versus them maybe. And so it took them maybe you know, a couple really intense incidences for them to just sort of hit this sort of rock bottom, but then have to bounce back and realize that their family does love them. So maybe it's like having really intense disputes, but then something happens and it's just, you know, they understand that they'll always have their support. And yeah, hold on. Hi, yeah, okay. Hi guys, okay, so I'm back. That was all about your future spouse's upbringing. So honestly, a very good foundation, I would say. A very wholesome foundation. Sorry, I burped. Okay, so now we're going to talk about their personality. What's their personality like? So we already got some ideas of it. They're definitely a very mental sort of person. So they do a lot of thinking, self-reflection. They probably listen to a lot of like podcasts, wouldn't be surprised about that, or like, you know, audiobooks, or they read a lot, or they watch a lot of TV, but, you know, not in like a frivolous way, more so in like a deeply interested way. So let's see, what else? I feel like they are a very intuitive person. I just saw the High Priestess. Yeah, they're a very intuitive person, but they probably have doubted themselves a lot, and that was definitely like something they had to learn. But I think that they definitely did learn it, and I think that probably part of their upbringing, or maybe not their upbringing, maybe something a little more intense taught them to trust themselves. yeah. Hold on, so I'm going to get some clarification about what exactly was this, sort of. Okay. Let's see. So maybe it was about their, yeah. Okay, so, yeah, I think it was about their home. So actually, yeah, I think it probably was one of those. Okay, so I think they, hold on, let me hold my crystals as I channel. So I was wondering if it was something about your home or not. And I thought, at first I thought, yeah, because, that just is sort of, I guess, my first instinct. But then I thought, well, actually, I didn't, like, I was getting the vibe that there were some lessons, definitely, with the home situation and the family, where everyone was different from them, and so that just caused a bit of, they had to really learn how, and, their family expresses love versus them, so they had to learn to understand and sort of, I don't know, yeah, like, they had to learn to feel loved by something that didn't naturally make them feel loved. So where their family was very abrasive, they were not, or where their family was very physically affectionate, they were not, or very, just verbally affectionate, they were not. It was just sort of like some sort of disconnect. But I didn't think it was that intense of a lesson, or I didn't think it was, that I wasn't getting any specifics, so I didn't think it was that intense, but it seems like it was a little more intense than I was thinking at first. And maybe that's also, like, mirrors how they felt about the whole thing. So maybe they also felt like, yeah, I was different from my family, but maybe it's not such a big deal. Or, it's not affecting me nearly as much as I thought it affected me. And I think specifically in areas like love and relationships. And so I think that's something, I'm gonna ask them what it was about. I'm gonna ask them what it was about, what this whole thing was, because now I know it was something definitely with the family, and it was something that ultimately turned out very favorable, and maybe that's why we had such a disparity, or not like such a disparity, but like such intensely good cards, but it was after a little bit of a sort of a break, and I mean, I don't have any sort of spread or anything planned out, and so when I sort of naturally align cards in a certain way, that's when it's most important. So I'm going to sort of ask, what the specific family situation was about, because, yeah, so it was, their personality is something where, sorry. So I feel like their family, I feel like their family's situation is something where, they thought, don't know, I guess maybe, I don't know, I feel like there must have also been a difference fundamentally in like who they are versus their family. Like it wasn't just how they expressed love. It was also just sort of, you know, how they operated entirely like as a person. They were very different from their family, and you know, I think that maybe if they thought that that difference made them like, you know, other than them, and it made them not love them or something. And I think that later they learned that's not true, and that they really were unconditionally loved by their family, just like every other member of their family. But I definitely think that there was also just, yeah, some sort of fundamental difference between them and their other family that caused them to make some sort of decision that their family ultimately disagreed with, and maybe they were very intense about how they disagreed with it, or maybe they really made their disagreement known, not like explicitly, but just like passive aggressively. And so the owl just sort of felt it, but no one ever said, oof, gosh, yeah, oh no. So they felt it, but no one ever said anything outright, so it's like, I don't know, they were almost like, do I just feel this way because, you know, this is how I should feel, like, is this how I feel? But no, it was just they were absorbing the energy of their family, and I think that maybe ultimately, hold on, sorry, so first I'm gonna get the oracle cards before I say anything else. Revelation. Oof. The Judgment. Oh my gosh, what else? Okay, so I think, oh, well, actually, hold on, now I'm gonna get one more card because I want to say something, but I want to be like extra sure. And I feel like my timer also going off right then kind of is going to help me be extra sure. So hold on. But I think that it was, so I knew it was something like who they were making a decision for themselves, or they wanted to make a decision for themselves, and their family was very much against it, and they all sort of felt one way versus the only person feeling another way. And maybe some other family members did agree with the person, or not even agree with them, but they did feel like, yeah, you should go off and, you know, do what you think is best. But they didn't really say anything outright to the family. And so, hold on, so we're getting a little chaotic feeling with the cards, but I feel like, and I didn't know, I feel like there's something, some sort of justice in the end. And the thing is, I don't know if it's justice for the owl, where, you know, in the end they turned out they were right, or not even they were right, but even the family members admit that, yeah, you must have made a good decision because of the outcome of how your life is now. And then before, though, or not before, I mean, or it's, you know, justice on the end of the family, where it's like, yeah, you were being some sort of unwavering and stubborn in an aspect, and because of that, this is, you know, this is the outcome, and maybe you should have listened. Flower, be honest with yourself. Oh. Okay. So I think that maybe, hold on, let's see. Hold on. Okay, so I think it was a little bit of both. I think that it sort of at first maybe, and this is what made the journey so difficult, potentially, just take what resonates. You know, because yeah. I think that potentially it could have been a rocky ride with whatever they did decide. I think that it was probably something, it was either something big or maybe it was just like an accumulation of a bunch of little things. But anyway, I believe that, yeah, it was just very complex. The series of decisions or the big decision and the series of life events that they ended up undergoing or going through or deciding on that sort of were very, very, very different from what the people around them that they cared about, what they thought that they should do, or, you know, their take on everything, or their stance. And so I feel like it was just sort of it was a chaotic period of time that probably lasted a while. And it was, I don't know, it was both good and bad. Like, I feel like one layer of it was very good, where they would be able to say, look, guys, look what I did. It was a good decision. And then there was also another layer where the other people can say, look, Owl, look at your decision. Look at what happened. This is why you should have listened to us. And I think ultimately it's sort of, understanding they had to just get to the agreement, basically, that yes, everything is kind of good, everything is kind of bad, but also everyone is kind of different. And so I think it had to be sort of a mutual understanding of both parents, or both parties, I guess, and maybe within those parties it is also both parents, because I accidentally said that. But so I feel like, yeah, both parties sort of had to say, they had to give a little bit and be like, yeah, okay, we get it. We're both wrong in a way, or not even wrong, but we're both just as right, or, even just like, it's not even relevant, they're like, they both sort of had to understand, or everyone sort of had to understand, you're just your own person and you're doing things that you think are right, presumably to the extent that everyone else is as well. And you can't just sort of project your expectations and what you believe onto other people just because you do believe them. You got to listen to them when they say, no, this is what I stand for and this is who I am and this is what I'm going to do. And so everyone sort of had to get to that agreement. And I think it was just sort of, it was complex because it's like, whatever it was, whatever decision it is sort of like, it had like lifelong consequences, I feel like. And so it wasn't sort of anything that ended. And so it wasn't anything that could be resolved. It was just something that constantly was there in the background. And even if it was something that eventually did end, like maybe it was just like, I don't know, even if the thing itself was something finite, and I'm being very vague, so maybe the thing could be like, taking a job somewhere else, or it could be following this sort of life path, or it could be, having a child or not having a child, or something like that. It could just or it could be a series of decisions, like maybe they just gradually, I don't know, this is like a silly little one, but like maybe it's just like they gradually got even more and more tattoos, and they came from a very tattoo-less family, and so just gradually over time they've just made, with every single tattoo that they added to their body, they just got a little closer or a little further and further away from their family, a little closer to the outside. And so whatever it was, like they both just sort of, because it had like lifelong consequences, or because it permanently changed or altered the perceptions of like either family or either like person or either family member or party, they sort of just all had to, they like, both sides really had to put in the work to understand the other side, but they did, you know, which is the good thing about this all. It was a little more intense than I thought, and so I guess that, I don't know, I wanted to get about their personality, and so I think that this just, I mean, their personality is very complex. That's what I got from it, but I mean, I mostly got that we needed to elaborate on sort of their family situation growing up, and that specific aspect of it, because I think it did form a lot of their personality, because I think that they, or I mean, I think that their personality really was deeply affected by it, because I think that they kind of, I mean, oh, okay, so I guess it maybe is a little bit like what I said yesterday. It's both that they are this owl person, but they also, like, they were reinforced in being this owl person because they were just so sort of confused almost, where it's like, I don't know, they had their personality, but then they were just like, is this my personality? Because this isn't like anyone that I know's personality. And so they were just, yeah, they were very confused. And so I guess that they really thought that they were someone else for a long time, or they tried to be the other people just because that's who they were around. And so they were confused about who they were. And so I think that their journey to developing their personality was very complex. And I think that maybe when you meet them, they're fresh into it, and not like fresh into having a personality, but like fresh into embracing their genuine personality. So, you know, maybe all this family stuff, because it does seem like it's like bigger decisions, maybe it did happen when they were a little older, you know, maybe late teens, early 20s, late 20s, stuff like that. But yeah, so I feel like their personality, though, is naturally very, they are a natural owl. They observe, but they're also very, I don't know, they can be intense, and they're quick-witted, and they're intelligent, and they're funny. Sorry, my toes are right here. And they're very good with words, and they're very logical, I feel like, but they're very humble, and they have a lot of humility. And so I feel like they're a very admirable person. And I think like they're especially admirable because they did have this complex upbringing, and they do have this family that's sort of so like chaotic and unlike them, and they are very even-keeled. They're very static, very predictable, but in like a very reliable, secure way. So you'll love that. But yeah, so that's about their personality. Sorry that it was like mostly about just more about who they are, or like their family thing, and less of their personality. But I think that really like the two are very, very intertwined. And I think that, yeah, not like they're new into having a personality, but yeah, I think that that's going to be part of the excitement of your relationship, is sort of understanding or, you know, both of you guys learning about them together, because I think that they did try to really like reject a lot of parts of themselves just because they didn't even think that those were parts of themselves that they would have. So they just didn't recognize or validate or empower themselves in some ways, so they were missing a lot of who they are. And they're getting that back, and I think that you're going to meet them while they're on that journey, and you're going to really admire them for like the person that they're trying to become, and that'll make you fall in love with them more. Okay, so now we're going to talk about their character and values. So we kind of already got that a little bit, their character and values. Well, not really, but I know for a fact they're very loyal. Hold on, but let's see. Well, you know what? I mean, I guess. No, you're gonna say no to that, and we're gonna get this. So their values and character. So what are the things that they like really, really care about? I'm gonna say that they really care about genuine people, and I think that that's or they're really learning to care about genuine people. And they're learning that that's like the thing to look out for, and that not everyone is exactly who they portray themselves to be. And I think that that's sort of a lesson that they learned as they were learning about themselves and how they were, you know, kind of so different from everyone that they felt they knew. And maybe they were wrong about a bunch of stuff. Maybe it was like them and like everyone in their family were wearing these masks. But maybe, you know, they were the only one to try and get out of it, or they were the only ones to realize that they aren't aligned with their mask. So let's see, what are their characters and values? So yeah, they value being genuine and down to earth. And so obviously I guess you will be very genuine and down to earth. Ooh, yeah. Lioness, you've earned all of your stripes. So yeah, they value really like strength and inner fire, and I'm just getting excited because this is obviously like, yeah, also about you. So no matter what energy or like gender or anything you identify as, this is definitely just like a, oh my gosh, like a divine like seductress card, like very. They'll really admire this about you, how strong you are, because they value it so much themselves. They, you know, they do think that, I think that they admire a lot of people. They admire a lot of people, you know, in their family, and I think that they're probably a little hard on themselves, so they're on the journey, you know, once again, of understanding who they are and also consequently like valuing themselves. But I think that they're really good at valuing other people. So I think that they really, really love you. Okay, hold on. Oh my gosh, yes, they're really, really, really attracted to you. That's just sort of like another message that's coming through, which is fun. But yeah, they really, 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 we had like a seductive little Lana Del Rey song that came on after that. And I think that you guys will be friends first. And so I think that I think that being friends first, and just the fact that you're sort of willing to be friends first and sort of just really create like a deep bond with them, I think that also really, they really admire that. So they admire people who are down to earth, who are genuine, and consequently like want to make genuine connections. So they take the time to make genuine connections. Oh, and oh my gosh, don't seek anyone's approval. So yeah, just people who are themselves. And once again, oh my gosh, 13 and 12. So counting down, I'm thinking that you guys are probably going to meet soon if you haven't already. And if you have already met soon, that you're probably going to meet again soon. Dragons slay them all. Yeah, so tenacity also. And the thing is, I'm getting that these are really more so traits that they admire in other people, and traits that they do have themselves, but that they probably don't believe that they have. So I feel like it's very much coming across, the feeling it's giving me is sort of like, not like self-pitying, but it's sort of like oh, if only that could be me. And then it's like, well, it is you, but you don't realize it, but I feel like you may realize it, but you just almost don't feel comfortable saying that you realize it or feeling like you realize it. I don't know. It is very complex, and I feel like they are. If they're not seeing a therapist, they should probably see a therapist. Like, no judgment or anything. Everyone sees therapists, or everyone should see a therapist. But, you know, maybe, I mean, you should see a therapist too if you're watching this, just because you're a human being. But, like, if they don't have a therapist, oh my gosh, this card coming out again. So, yeah. I think that, so I think and just because they're very complex, so they need someone to help them sort out all of their stuff and like their feelings and like what they're feeling and how they're feeling and the different components of it, because, you know, sometimes this is random, but like sometimes it could be like, I don't know, physical or something. Like maybe they just like, they don't get a lot of sleep, and so they feel really, 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 really extra shitty, and then they have like all of these bad thoughts when they feel like really tired and exhausted and shitty like that. So I don't know, but yeah. So that's about their character and values. Paint the sun back into your sky. So yeah, just tenacity, but not just tenacity. They value like being able to get through the tough stuff and coming out a better person. And I think that this may be one that they like, yes, this is me. So they understand, honestly, that they are very complex and they have a lot of stuff and a lot of baggage maybe, but they understand like, yeah, I will paint the sun back into my sky. I will actually, I understand, or not even I will, but like I have, like, I understand, like, I've been a worse person and I've actively worked to become better and more knowledgeable and more self-aware. So that's a beautiful energy. And so that's obviously something they'll value. And I think this is definitely something they recognize in themselves. So that's like a beautiful stepping stone to have to like learn these other important lessons that, you know, they also shouldn't seek anyone's approval. They should be confident in being their genuine selves and not just admire when other people are their genuine selves. You know, you've earned all your stripes. They need to validate themselves and their own struggles instead of just, you know, recognizing other people being strong after their own struggles. Dragons slay them all. Yeah. Their tenacity. Other people's tenacity and recognizing themselves and others. Beautiful. Okay, now we're gonna talk about their... Well, you know what? First, I think we're gonna talk about them in a relationship because that is pretty beautiful. Oh my gosh, so we're gonna get these cards. Them in a relationship. These are gonna be... Oh my gosh, it's gonna be good. I can feel it already. I hope you guys can hear me. My voice really is giving out because I think this is like a really long video. Can I see how long has it been? Oh my shit. So long. Okay, well I've definitely like restarted a lot of times, but this is gonna be a long video. Okay, sorry, I gotta like a little bit zoom through this. Not really, but a little bit, but whatever. Okay, so their character and values. So let's see, what are their character and values? No. Oh my gosh, I'm so silly. What are they like in a relationship? Wow, I mean, obviously it's going to tie in the messenger, so clear communication. So they're going to very much tell you, they're going to think about it, and they're not going to be super superfluous in what they say. They're only going to say what is needed, but they're going to let you know. They're going to tell you what's up. They're going to tell you your feelings, gratitude. Oh my god. Acceptance. Oh yeah. So they're going to very openly tell you how much they love you, how much they care about you. The second that they feel it, they'll tell you. They don't care really if like they're the first one to say I love you, because they probably will be, and they'll probably be a little like excited almost to be the first one. And I think that also, so they're very gracious. Obviously, I think that you'll probably do some little things for them that are really nice just because, oh my god, just because they love it and they'll be so grateful, and so you'll like love seeing how grateful they are, and or you'll love, you know, just making them that happy and seeing how excited they are. And acceptance, I think that they're really good at accepting other people for who they are. They aren't very good at accepting themselves for who they are. Oh my god. But but they're gonna be, oh, okay, yeah. But they're gonna be, yeah. Oh, okay, sorry. But yeah, they're gonna be very good at accepting you, who you are. So that's something that you're gonna, you know, if you have any, you know, insecurities or personal self-confidence issues or anything like that, they're gonna be very, very, very comforting, very reassuring. They're gonna probably be very physically affectionate, very like, especially in how they, oh, yeah. So especially I feel like, you know, at night, especially like when you guys are like in bed together, like just like, I don't know, just being like very like stroking you, or just like petting your hair or something, like very just something gentle and physically affectionate, and it's just something that makes you feel good. And they'll also be, though, they will be very seductive, they have a very nurturing presence, and they aren't someone that you would expect to be very seductive, but they definitely are, and I think that that's going to be something that's a little exciting because it is, saint/sinner. So I think this is more of like in a, explicit sexual sort of way instead of like they're a bad versus good person. I think that it's more so they're going to be, because look at what this is. Mother Mary and Magdalene. This is Mary Magdalene, and then this is Mother Mary. So this is Mother of Jesus the Virgin, and then this is Mary Magdalene, like the little, like, the, I don't know, the prostitute, I think. I don't know, but I know that this is like supposed to be like the, like the sensual, sexual, like, empowerment, like female, like, yes. And then this is like the Virgin Mary, and then you have Saint Sinner, so yeah. I'm not gonna say more because I don't want to get like banned or anything, but so they definitely will have a very intense sexual side to them, and I think that may be something that, like, just the colors right here, I think that may be something that comes about later. It takes a little bit of time, but eventually they will be comfortable with you and they will trust you, and you guys will have like an intensely sexual relationship. I also feel like very very vocal, very verbal relationship. So I think that probably when you guys are, being intimate with each other, probably very vocal. Oh my gosh, okay, so I'm gonna see if anything else is gonna come out about what they're like in a relationship. Oh my gosh, so you guys are gonna be kind of like on a journey to, a journey to discovering themselves, them, together. Like, you probably will have your own stuff that you'll be going through, but I feel like you probably are gonna be the one who's a little more, not a little more wise, but a little more like, not even more mature, but I don't know, I think that you're going to be the one with just sort of less stuff to work out. Like, I feel like they just honestly are very complex, and I think that they have some sort of aspect of them that makes it really hard for them to understand themselves, like maybe it's, they were, I don't know, recently, for example, recently diagnosed with something. And so that just sort of unlocked like a whole new aspect of understanding themselves and a whole new way of understanding themselves. But, and so I think that that's very much a journey you guys are going to be on together, because also with that comes like, they need to sort of relearn how to be in a relationship now that they know who they are as a person. Or now that they're learning who they are as a person. And I think that you've probably transformed, or you're more on the tail end of your transformations. Confusion and color. Yeah. Yeah. So it is, I mean, it's, once again, like, same with the family thing, and I think that that's why it was, like, so important for me to really, like, talk about it a lot, was because I think that it's, not like a non-ending thing. And so if it's non-ending, then obviously if they're your future spouse, you are going to be also on this journey with them. And so you guys are sort of both going to have to, like, they're going to have to do the work to learn themselves, but then they're going to have to do the work also to tell you about that person. And then you're going to have to, honestly, and if I'm being honest, make the conscious decision to, learn about them, who they are as a person, and still love them. And I mean, not decide to love them, but like decide to stay with them. And of course the answer is going to be yes, but it's going to be like, and you're going to love the person that you find out that they are, but I don't know, not to scare you, but like, it is going to be a little intense. I feel like they are, and this isn't great, but it is going to be a little bit of a teacher aspect in a way of like, I think that you have done a lot of emotional healing, and I think that they have, but they have just like a lot more obstacles in the way of, you know, smoothly clearing it all out. So I feel like you're gonna have to, I mean, and it's not even you're gonna have to hold their hand through it, but it's just that they're gonna have to be doing this whether you're there or not. And the fact is, you are gonna be there with them because you love them, and so you're going to choose them, and it'll be ultimately fine, but it will be something that will have to be addressed and worked on consciously. And I mean, and not even worked on, but just, I mean, not like it's something to work on, but it's just, you know, yeah, they're going to be on a journey of self-discovery, and you're going to be there for the ride when they're on it. And just because you love them and because you're probably such a giving person, you'll want to help them through it, and you'll want to be there for them. And honestly, you'll be very, I'm going to tear up a little bit, you're going to be very grateful that you'll be able to be there for it, because you will see how much you love them and see how much they deserve it, and you'll want to do everything that you can to help them through this journey and to make them feel as little pain as possible through it, and as much like self-love and empowerment. So that's beautiful. Okay, that was like super intense, but now we're gonna talk about what they're like or what's their appearance. So it's like all of this really heavy stuff, and then it's just, you know, a light little message of their appearance for the end. I feel like they're definitely very like adorable. Hold on, sorry, my guinea pig is like making some noises. Albert. Hold on, I have to make sure that he runs away when I try to pet him like he normally does. Okay, good. Okay, actually, I don't think it was him. I think it was the little water bottle that they have. Okay, sorry. But yeah, I think they're going to be really adorable looking because, but yeah, like, I think that they probably have glasses. Or, yeah, they'll wear glasses sometime. You know, maybe they have reading glasses or glasses for close up or far away. But I definitely, yeah, think they'll look very adorable, but then they'll also be very seductive and very hot to you. Which is going to be like, yeah, again, like an incredible mix. Two of Pentacles, oh my gosh. So yeah, oh my gosh, look how pretty she is. Oh my god, okay, so I think that they could have like they could have blonde hair, they could have tan skin. They could have curly hair, oh, beautiful curly hair, like, you'll love it. Even if their hair's not curly, you'll love their hair regardless, but I like curly or wavy hair. And probably very soft. So like I mentioned that they probably like stroke you or something, or I think that they probably really like physical contact, and they'll really love like, you know, things like putting on lotion and having really soft, warm skin, and like cuddling right after you take a shower so that you're like all warm and, you know, I was gonna say moist, but I know a lot of people hate that word, so sorry. But yeah, I mean, like when you're just like supple, yeah. So that's nice. Hold on, more stuff. Yeah, maybe they'll have like a little baby face. Maybe they'll look like kind of like serious sometimes, or maybe you won't think that they'd be as playful as they are, but they are playful. But they're also like, I mean, they are serious. They like definitely have a work ethic, and they have a lot of goals, and oh my gosh, it's getting serious again. Hold on. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. They're like, relax, Emma. Hold on. Let me get there's anything else, if any other card wants to strongly come out. No. We'll see. I didn't think that was strong. Okay, no other cards are strongly coming out. I'm going to give them, let's see, anything else about their appearance before I dive into it. Okay. Okay, oh my god. So that's why they took a little while, because they were trying to give me a bunch of stuff. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, I feel like maybe they could have, like, dyed their hair or something. I don't know. Like, maybe this was, like, part of, like, maybe their appearance, altering their appearance in some way was part of, like, the little decisions. I did mention the tattoos earlier, so yeah, maybe it was stuff like tattoos, piercings, like, I don't know, just, like, changing the way that they appeared to the world. Like, maybe it was something like, you know, they had really long hair and they cut it really short or something, or they permanently, or they cut it off, they were bald, or something like that. Or they dyed it like an unnatural color, or just like a vastly different color, or just a slightly different color, and their family is just very conservative in that respect. But anyway, it was like this could have added to or it could have been part of like the sort of rocky journey of self-discovery and understanding who they really are as a person. Yeah. And so I was like, that's why I was like, oh my gosh, the tower again. It's like, it's getting intense. So they definitely are, I don't know, I was like, they're very adorable. And so honestly, I was getting more of like a young professional sort of sense to it. But maybe I feel like that could have been like, you know, their journey of self-discovery before they thought they were a young professional. And so they were trying to be this other, like, and so now they're trying to be a whole drastically different person. Or maybe before they were a whole drastically different person. Their family was very, you know, punky and aggressive and stuff. And then growing up, and then later they're like, actually, I want to be like a corporate lawyer or something. And so, you know, but it was something like drastic in the appearance like that, where it was like, during one point, they conformed. It was like, so yeah, I feel like or it could also just be like their energy or something, but I feel like it really is their appearance. So yeah, just take what resonates, because this may not be like for everyone, but I feel like they could either look very alternative now, or they looked very alternative before. And not alternative is like alt rock or something, but just alternative is like they just look, you know, different than their surroundings at some point in their journey. And it's either they had to take the journey of self-discovery to realize that is them, or the journey of self-discovery to realize that isn't them. And so I feel like yeah. And it could also just be something about like their surroundings. Like maybe it was like, it's not even their appearance, like, but their appearance in the context of where they are. So maybe like they decided a long time ago to leave home and to move somewhere completely different, and their family didn't want them to, and so now they're in a completely different place, surrounded by people who look very different from them, and, you know, they had to just sort of, that was part of their journey of self-discovery, is maybe, you know, not just saying, oh, I want to be like them, but being like, you know, honestly, maybe honestly, I am proud of where I came from and my family and my upbringing and who I look like and who I am. But, and I shouldn't romanticize either end. I should, you know, validate the strengths and weaknesses in both sides, or like the pros and cons of both, or, you know, the nuances of both sides. So, yeah, I feel like, I don't know, that was a little bit weird. That went a little bit off, but I feel like they have blonde curly hair, or they could have light brown hair, or they just have like beautiful hair that you love, very soft skin. I feel like they could have had tattoos, could have had piercings at some point, could have had an intense haircut at some point, or they do now. Or they will at some point when they figure out truly who they are, and maybe, you know, they'll realize I love who I am with a bunch of piercings and tattoos because I feel like me, I feel like, you know, a piece of artwork and it's beautiful. Or maybe they'll be like, you know, I got all these piercings and tattoos when I was younger, when I was trying to fit in a place where I didn't actually wanted to feel like that. And so now I'm like taking out all my piercings, maybe getting tattoos removed, etc. So yeah. But I feel like ultimately, regardless, their demeanor will appear very adorable to you. You'll find them very endearing, and I feel like you'll find them endearing, but also very sexy in a way, and then that dichotomy will make you even more attracted to them. So we'll see if anything else wants to come out about their appearance. Oh my gosh, like, I don't know, fertile. They'll be very, definitely, it'll be like a very joyous energy. You'll definitely be very excited about the future with them because of like just things they do, the ways they act, like just the little things. It'll make you just excited and be like, I can't wait. Oh my god, gratitude again. Oh my god, these 3 cards again. That's insanity. And these were the cards when it was about their characters and values, or know what they're like in a relationship. Oh my gosh, yeah, well, obviously. So they're gonna be, oh my gosh, I mean, they're gonna be really, their appearance, they're gonna be really attractive. They're gonna be really seductive in your eyes. Maybe not conventionally, maybe conventionally, maybe for a select group of people, maybe for a large amount of people. I don't know. It's very vague because that's not the important part. The important part is the fact that you will find them so incredibly attractive, but also very, very endearing, very strong, very independent, very self-sufficient. And yeah, I think they have glasses. I think they have glasses, and I think they look beautiful with and without glasses. And so I feel like even, I mean, I think it's going to be someone who is your usual type. I'm going to honestly say, I don't know if you're their usual type. Hold on. Okay, I'll say that I don't know if you're their usual type, just because I don't know if they have a usual type. But I will say that they are your usual type, or they're your type. They're just like whatever type that you think is like so incredibly attractive. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's like they're your type, but you're like problematic type. Like maybe they look really badass and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so, I don't know. Hold on. Okay, I have to cut out that part because I blah 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 blah. Cut it out. But anyway, maybe they look very cool and or like very edgy, and so you think that they maybe aren't a very nice person, but then they'll actually end up to be like really endearing and really complex and really really into themselves, or not into themselves, but like really into, you know, bettering themselves and becoming a good person. It's like you'll really admire them almost because they appear in such a drastically different way than they actually are. And then it's like that's a whole other thing, because it's like they'll look really hot, maybe, but then they'll act really innocent and cute and adorable, or just like really like, aww. It's like, but then they'll, again, like they will be really hot, and so they will be like, yeah, really attracted to you. And your connection will be really great. Alright, I'm gonna say I think that is all. I think I talked for a really long time. Yep, I definitely did. But I think that was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So excited. Wonderful. Great, amazing, fantastic, good. Okay, if you guys liked this video, you can like, give it a like, and you can subscribe, and you can comment, and that would all be great because this is like my very first video ever, and I really, I don't know, I'm still kind of on the fence about whether or not I want to continue making videos, I guess, or whether or not I'm gonna have like, you know, the energy and the capacity to consistently. And so I kind of would just like appreciate a gauge on, I guess, how many people would enjoy more videos, or, you know, how worth it, I guess, it would be to put them up. But I mean, you know, ultimately still that's going to be up to me, I guess. So, you know, even if no one says anything, like, I may still, you know, have the energy and just put them out because, yeah. But, and okay. Anyway, guys, bye. Hope you have a nice night and see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, Pile 2. You're a little turtle guy, and this is your group. Welcome to your reading. So first, well, no, I'll say that this reading is all about your future spouse. So it's going to be about, you know, their upbringing, personality, character, appearance, what they're like in a relationship. Basically, those are just all of the topics we'll be covering, but it's to get a sense of who they are, how they became that person, and how that person manifests themselves in a relationship with you. So, yeah, this is going to be all about your future spouse. And so first I'll say this little turtle guy. He reminds me a lot of my sister, who is a very eccentric and quirky. So I think that your person could also be pretty eccentric and quirky. And I think, you know, he has his little hat and his little glasses. So I think that your person could potentially, you know, have something that they wear that's pretty interesting. You know, maybe they do wear glasses, they do wear hats, maybe like funky glasses. They love sunglasses or something, I don't know. I mean, I did get my sunglasses right before this, so maybe they do. And I am wearing pretty funky sunglasses because they're the only ones left that I can find because I keep using them and losing them. Yeah. But anyway, so definitely, I think that they probably they probably have a unique sense of style, and you probably really like that about them. I think that you do. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not even at first, but, you know, not to say that you dislike it, but maybe you're just sort of ambivalent, you just sort of notice it, but then, like, eventually you learn who they become, or you learn who they are, and you're like, oh, yeah, really respect that, and you're hot, so yeah. Okay, but he's also, so a little bit more about the turtle guy's personality, I feel like. So your person going to be pretty sexual because a pretty sexual song came on. It's Low Key featuring Erica Badu, and it's by Tiana Taylor and Erica Badu. I hope I pronounced that right. Badu? I don't know. Well, no, I'm not wearing, I'm supposed to wear prescription glasses to see far away, but I am not. I'm wearing sunglasses. So I cannot read it very well, but yeah, so that song, it's a pretty sexual, sensual feeling song, but it's also it's pretty spiritually significant for me because I know that I first discovered it during a pretty spiritually significant part of my life, and it does like have a very a very sensual vibe to it, but also a very sort of, to me, you know, important vibe. So I think that could be a little bit about them. You know, you may underestimate them a little bit. You know, like, see this little turtle guy, but he's probably so wise. I mean, I know for a fact he's so wise. but I think your person probably, I think that, they're different. So, sort of like group one, they're not like the center of attention, but like, I don't know, I feel like group one, it was more so, you know, conscious effort, and this guy, I feel like that your turtle person is, I think that they more so just are absorbed in their own world, like doing their own thing, and so I don't think that I don't know, I think that they're very comfortable in that, and they like being comfortable in that, and so they maintain that energy a lot. And I think that that just means that they're like sort of very unbothered to an extent of other people. And yeah, that's another thing you definitely respect and admire about them. So yeah, okay, we'll continue. Hold on, first I'm actually gonna start a timer. So this reading is probably most certainly gonna be super long because I don't know, it's my first time doing it like just with a full or a completely free schedule, so I can just like ramble on end. But you know, I think the last reading that I just recorded a few hours ago was probably the first reading that's like going to be actually put online, because the other two readings I had done before this, the first one got lost and the other one I just think I rambled too much, so I'm going to delete it. But yeah, so I don't know why I mentioned that. Do not know why. Just saw the High Priestess, which I saw in pile number 1. So that's giving me a lot. I'm pretty sure, or I maybe like in the other pile when I recorded, but I definitely saw it before. Gosh, so I'm getting deja vu, most certainly, and I sort of had that like spacey moment just then, where I totally forgot where I was going. So oh my gosh, probably. Maybe you guys also have messages in group 1, wouldn't be surprised about that. Yeah, because I definitely am feeling a sense of deja vu on my end. And yeah, I was saying, you know, the turtle guide definitely does, like, they almost present themselves similarly to the world, the turtle and the owl, that's how I'm feeling. They do, but, I feel like it may be for different reasons, but again, you know, like, different things come through, so just take what resonates. You can take multiple things that resonate. So now we're not gonna say anything. Well, yeah, we're gonna say stuff, but we're gonna ask about their upbringing. So what was the turtle's upbringing like? So this is, oh, Queen of Pentacles, that's good. So, okay. I feel like their family probably was like pretty into money. Like they probably had money, and it seemed like they were pretty defensive of it. So I feel like he probably, I don't know, they were probably that family that very much made that or talked about that stuff a lot. And it was just very much present in the family conversations, you know, stuff about money. Whether it's like just the parents remarking on other people's money, or just talking about how they wish they had more. But like, I don't know, a nice environment, I feel like. But yeah, I think the chariot showed up. I don't know, I forget. Oh, but I think that definitely showed up for pile number 1, most certainly. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so yeah, definitely you could have messages in pile number 1. I'm getting some similar cards, some deja vu. So yeah, I mean, it's yeah, again, a similar message of maybe some difficulties, not even difficulties, but tension surrounding money management. But ultimately, like a good, wholesome dynamic where they learned and knew how much their family cared for them, and they were like financially secure, and so they felt also how their family cared for them. And so I think that they have pretty good Wheel of Fortune tried to jump out, but the Tower is the one that actually did jump out. So I think, well, let's see, I'm gonna get actually a clarifying card for the Tower. Okay, this one. So, maybe it's like there was some sort of like drastic change in like a financial situation, at some point in their family life. Maybe they quickly got money, or I'm gonna ask, is it that they quickly got money, or did they quickly lose money? Because even if they did quickly lose money, so I feel like it was more so along the lines of like maybe a bad investment in something. And so I think it was something where, they probably lost money, but in an indirect manner. So I think that they probably, their family tried something that they thought was going to be lucrative and successful, but it wasn't. And so they ended up, they just ended up a little, not bad, but yeah, defensive, or really feeling like they needed to do something to change their current circumstances. And so I feel like they did. Yeah, I feel like they. And maybe they also, kept it a secret or something. Maybe it was a little bit even more of a tension. So yeah, definitely everything like turned out fine. I feel like even if it was a bad investment, I feel like they probably already had enough. They probably already had enough money, or they were able to bounce back relatively quickly. Yeah, maybe it's like, I don't know, I'm getting the vibe of like lawyers and suing for some reason, so maybe like that's relevant for any reason, but I don't know. I feel like maybe they're suing someone and getting money from that, maybe not. I don't know, just take what resonates again, because that's, I don't know, I feel like, oh, okay, yeah, well, I feel like if, sorry, okay, so a lot of things are coming here, okay. So yeah, maybe their family went through some sort of financial hardship or some sort of financial change or socioeconomic change. And basically, yeah, this still like they turned out fine, Maybe it was a little rough, but I feel like not even really, like, and maybe it happened after your future spouse sort of already left the family's, house or something, so maybe they were less affected by it, or they felt less affected by it, like maybe it was when they were more independent or something, but it feels like, yeah, they faced some sort of just financial change in their family's life that affected them and how they saw money, and just sort of their desperation for wanting a good job. But I feel like this is so misaligned with how I felt with the energy of the turtle. I don't know. So I think it's weird. Like, I think that this, we're going to be looking at their personality later. Right now, this is just their upbringing, but I feel like some of their personality, yeah, is leaking through. I feel like, so I think that they really are sort of, yeah, High Priestess at the back of the deck. I feel like, actually, I'm going to keep that right here. So this is other energy that I was channeling about the turtle guy, actually. Where is he? So I feel like he is very much sort of a dreamer. but he's also very grounded. But he has trouble merging those two different sides of himself. So while he is, working really hard in this earthly plane, and he seems like he's, really invested and really grounded and really motivated, and he is, but also it feels like he's working for a dream, but a dream that will only ever be a dream. So I feel like, where is he? Where did he go? Where did I put him? Where's the little turtle guy? Oh my god, I feel like I'm going crazy. I don't know, man. I don't know what little turtle guy is. Okay, that's fine. Man. Anyway, gosh. Anyway, little turtle guy. Yeah, so I feel like he's a dreamer, and he has trouble merging his dreams with reality. They have trouble believing their dreams or could actually be achieved, or believing that this feeling of, pure joy and elation that they get from feeling their dream is, possible to feel in the real world just by experiencing their actual life. So, yeah, I think that that's something. That's just something that they're dealing with. That's a personal battle for them, because they are a very hardworking, motivated person, but they have their own intrinsic values, definitely. Gosh, and I wish I had him with me so that I could, feel his energy in my hands and show you him. Oh my gosh, I don't know where he is. That's okay, we'll still live life, but oh my gosh. We will. What? Anyways. So, yeah. So, his upbringing, oh my gosh. So, anyway, that's relevant to his upbringing because it's relevant to the whole financial thing, where, I feel like they want to make money, but they don't really, I don't know, it's like they don't believe that they actually can, and so they have a really hard time taking concrete steps towards achieving that goal. And they sort of want to make money sort of out of, I don't know, yeah, like I don't know, would you say like restitution mindset or something? Like I will, not like avenge, but like I will reignite the respect for my family's name or something like that. Something very much where they I want to make my family proud, I want to make money, I need to be financially secure, and I think that it did happen because of this, financial hardship, or just their financial change, or this financially relevant event that their family experienced growing up. But I think ultimately their family dynamic was, they felt loved. They were loving to their family. They were good. They were fine in that respect. But I think that almost made it even worse, because it's this love and admiration and respect that they had for their family. It was a little, not soured, but it was just, then it was almost like they idolized their family, or maybe they just thought they were infallible and couldn't be, they could never fail. But then, yeah. But then, not saying they did fail, but just saying they definitely showed that they were capable of making mistakes, because they did make mistakes. And so the turtle had to be like, oh, okay. So this is them, and I still love them, but they're just people after all. And they're like, I need to go off. And I need to sort of make my family proud, but they're themselves, you know, they have their own singular energy, they all have their own singular values, so they have like their own intrinsic motivations, yeah, as I was saying before, so they can't just go off and get a fancy job, they can't just go and get anything that'll pay the most, they need to do something that's really meaningful and important to them, but also that brings them, you know, all of this money, and so they're having a really hard time understanding how those two things can coexist. Or like in the real world, I feel like they themselves feel very far removed from how their dream of making a lot of money could ever become a reality. And I feel like right now they're sort of in this energy of pursuing it. Yeah, oh my gosh, loud honk when I said that. Currently they're in the energy of pursuing this. So pursuing their this sort of dream, and so I think that they're probably in the middle of some step that they've taken. So maybe they've enrolled in a program, or they're studying for a test, or they're getting a certification or something like that. And so, oh my gosh, okay, so I need to chill with the upbringing part, but anyway, yeah, this is also about their personality, so I'm blending a little bit into the next topic. But anyway, so I'm talking so fast. Anyway, so yeah, I feel like, again, only take what resonates. I feel the need to say that so much because these are such specific messages, but and a lot of chaotic messages, but yeah, that's my style, I guess. But they're a dreamer, so yeah, right now they're in this stage of carrying out a step that they've taken to try and reach these dreams, but again, I feel like they just have a hard time believing that it's actually going to happen, that it can actually be realized. Yeah, but it's like they hope that it can, and so they continue these steps, but it's like, I don't know, it's very hard for them to really feel like they can do it. I think that really, like, not saying their parents' failure really affected them, but like, I think that it showed them that sometimes you can take what you think are all the right steps and still end up being wrong, and that really disturbed them because it really notched their confidence, because they had so much confidence in their family and or someone in their life. But yeah, so that's about their upbringing. If you guys do know this person and it is relevant, please tell me. Or if it resonates, if it's relevant, if it resonates. Okay, so now we'll talk about it's I Need a Forest Fire by James Blake and Bob Rivera. That's the song it's playing. So let's ask about their personality. What's their personality like? What's the turtle's personality like? So we already got that they're definitely eccentric and in some respect, physically, just their personality. They're very successful. They will take control and like get what they want. Which is so interesting because again, they don't have a very forceful nature, but they have a very powerful nature. And they're very smart, they're very intelligent. I feel like they're very also, oh my gosh, they're also very, I'm getting water and I'm also getting air. And I know that these are like fire energies, and they probably are, honestly, yeah, fiery too. But just the essence of their personality I'm getting is very intellectual, very witty, but also very, very intelligent in an emotional sense. You know, they really understand people and how to connect and how to reach them and get them to understand things. Let me see if anything else wants to come out. Oh my gosh. You have a very, very... It's a masculine energy, but it's a... like a wise old man masculine energy. It's like a masculine energy that's... It's not toxic masculinity, but it's more so like paternal, wise masculine energy. It's very nice. I need some water. My throat. I've been talking so much. Hold on. Maybe the turtle's over here. Oh, I swear to God, I don't see it. Okay. I still don't see the turtle. Oh well. Anyway. So yeah, I feel like their personality, they they get what they want. They're very, I feel like they're actually very competitive. They don't seem it, but they are actually very competitive. But they're also wise enough to know, you know, when they're wrong, they're wrong. When something's not meant to happen, it's not meant to happen. Even if they want something to happen and it doesn't happen, they respect that. They say, okay, well, I mean, obviously something just wasn't right. Something wasn't aligned. They're very wise. They're steady, but they're passionate still. So it's like if it's something that they really care about, they will care about it. But it's not like they're not going to dwell on something that doesn't go their way. They're going to sort of like turn it into something maybe that motivates them in a different area. So like if they, you know, one job pursuit fails, they'll just go out and seek an alternate source of income, or they'll be like, well, you know what, maybe it's best that I do actually take a rest right now instead of working so much. So they're very rational in that sense. They have emotions and they're passionate, but they don't let themselves be overcome by their emotions. Which is why, I definitely feel the fire energy, but I'd say that fire is definitely balanced with a lot of other, you know, probably air and earth energy. And I feel like it expresses itself in a fairly watery way sometimes. So hold on, I'm gonna get some cards about that. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna get some cards about that because honestly, like, again, I wasn't getting... It's interesting that I sort of kept saying that because I feel like the way that they would appear, it wouldn't seem like they'd have such a watery presence. So I don't know if it's sort of a little hidden aspect of them, some sort of like deeply emotional aspect of them. So I'm gonna ask. Let's see. Oh wow, this is a beautiful song that's playing right now. Wow, yeah, okay, so, oh my gosh, something else I was channeling actually about this group was that I feel like they had some sort of relationship trauma, and so I didn't know if, you know, it could be, it's definitely friendships or romantic relationships. I don't feel like it was really their parental situation, I mean, besides the stuff I already touched on and the other thing. But yeah, so I feel like they do have an emotional aspect to them. Oh, Ace of Wands. Yeah, so I think that they actually do, and they feel emotions very deeply, and so I feel like that may be sort of why they have a lot of emotional or relationship trauma, because they feel things very deeply, very quickly. And so I feel like they have a lot of emotions, and so they express all of these emotions in a pretty like creative pursuits. And I feel like maybe that's probably not that obvious about them, you know, that they'd be so they like forward about their emotions, and they'd be so willing to express themselves creatively, because you know, it does make them vulnerable. It makes them feel vulnerable. And so I think that this is something that surprises you, and it's something that you really admire about them. It definitely makes you love them more, because I think that, especially with like your emotions, or the emotions that they feel from your relationship specifically, they are very talented at channeling them into some sort of creativity. Oh my god, and the Ace of Cups, yeah, they really are. And so they're just like, they sort of are the manifestors. I'm getting like magician energy from them. Judgment was peeking out at me. I'm gonna see if there's anything else that wants to pop itself out. They're very like emotionally in tune. It's beautiful. It's wonderful, actually. I'm like, oh my god, this is pretty rare. Oh my gosh, Justice. 6 of Wands. 6 of Cups. 7 of Swords. And King of Swords. Wow, these are a lot of cards. They're fair. They care about equality. They have a good sense of humor, and they're very childish. They probably tease you a lot. I feel like they will be they express themselves, but maybe not so much about their emotions to you, like initially. I feel like they really try, but it's sort of a little bit of a journey. I feel like they need to learn that they can trust you, because I think that they sort of know the vibe that they give off. They know that they give off the vibe of, you know, I'm my own unique, independent person. I don't need other people's validation. That is the vibe they give off. That is what they feel. That is how they are. But also they sort of, I mean, to an extent, maybe they do think about other people's validation, and, or not even that, but they're just, you know, they've, where was I going with that? But so they're very, they're very emotionally aware. And I feel like they will talk to you, but it'll take a little while, probably because of their past relationship trauma. And so I think what I was getting at was they want to continue appearing the way that they appear. And they're a little afraid of no longer appearing that way. If they could, you know, if they find someone sort of genuinely worth pursuing. to genuinely give their heart to again, because I feel like they probably haven't been in a serious relationship in a very long time. I feel like I feel like they've only been in a few serious relationships, and maybe they've had flings with people, but nothing that they'd seriously consider. And so I feel like when they do eventually meet you, I feel like they will be sort of hesitant to be emotionally vulnerable immediately, just because of they knew that they'd no longer really be able to appear as if they didn't care about something anymore. Because, you know, I think that your relationship probably would put them in a very, very emotional and fragile state, just because I think that you guys are gonna, like, this is a whole other thing, but I think you guys are just, like, gonna love each other so much. It's gonna be just such, like, an emotionally raw relationship, because I think that you guys both will be very important for each other and have very important roles in each other's lives. And so I think that it's like just sort of like the magnitude of it all, like these two powerful mirroring cards just being here. There's also maybe like an LGBT relationship, because of just like, yeah, I feel like they're twins. Like, it could be your twin flame, if you do resonate with that phrase, that term. But yeah, so this is definitely a very, like, important fated connection. So they're emotionally in tune, they're emotionally connected, but they're hesitant to, you know, verbally express that, because they are aware of the vulnerable state that puts them in. But yeah, their personality is interesting, because they're a mix of, I hope this is giving you like a good idea of who they are as a person, because it's giving me a good idea of who they are as a person. So their personality is an interesting mix of like, you see them, they're doing their own thing, they're in a group of people, they have their friends, and they're present in their friend group. They're, you know, people like to listen to them. They're funny, they're cool, they're quirky, they're different, they're their own person. People notice them for sure. But they are sort of doing their own thing, and it's not like, and I think that they will talk, but they're just naturally not the center of attention. But it's sort of just because they're just in their head dreaming and doing and planning for the future and doing what makes them happy. And I feel like they know a lot about themselves, so they sort of they just continuously try to like exercise that. So, you know, they have their hobbies, they go out and do their hobbies. I feel like they're probably very creative. I'm getting like, maybe they roller skate. That's something that could resonate for someone. But I feel like they're probably we already got that they're definitely very creative. I think that they probably make things, you know, they could be an artist, paint, they could write, you know, especially poetry, short stories. Maybe they make films, TikToks, yeah. And so I feel like they're outgoing, but they also, you know, I think they're outgoing, but they're like an introvert. So I feel like when they're in social situations, they're social, but it's like they don't really care to put themselves in social situations that much. Or they do, but it's like they're only social when they're in those social situations, and then they just go home and like are alone. So let's see, anything else about their personality? I feel like they're like pretty fun. I feel like, okay, yeah. For places where it's legal and everything, I feel like they could be into, you know, weed. Am I allowed to say that word? I don't know. But I think that they have a very colorful perspective on life, and so they love living in their bubble. They love living in their dream state. They have a very deep, beautiful imagination. You're really gonna enjoy their presence. They're gonna have a wonderful presence for you. And I feel like you may be a little more actualistic than them. I feel like you may be really grounded. I feel like they give off a grounded sort of energy, but I don't know if they're genuinely grounded. But I think you probably are genuine. Oh my god, this came out. Oh my god, this came out in the first pile too. Wow. And shark. Shark, swim away from this situation. Lioness, you've earned all your stripes. Gold, you don't need someone else to fix you. So yeah, I feel like their energy is independent, but it's weird. It's like they don't seem like they'd be so hyper independent because they are in a social circle and they mesh well with people and they're likable. But then, if you actually ask them, what they do, how they spend their time, they're very much by themselves in their own energy, and it is sort of like a defensive protective measure. Yeah, they definitely they do have walls up. But I think also they're just very good at boundaries, and I think that maybe they're a little, title it off. I think maybe they're a little too good at boundaries, but okay, so that's what I had for your personality. So now we're gonna do character/values. So let's see, what are their character/values? What do they really value as a person? I feel like there could have been a point in their life where they strived. Yeah, I mean, I did kind of touch on it a little. I mean, the validation thing, I feel like there could have been a point in their life where they strived for people's validation, and so now or it's like they really disliked it when other people strived for others' validation, and it was something they were constantly wary of, and so it was something they really have always tried not to care about, and it's something that's very important to them to not strive for people's validation, especially when it comes to things that are sort of subjective, am I pretty, am I funny, am I smart, stuff like that, am I worthy? Okay, so let's see, anything else? Anything else about, well, yeah, no, their character and their values. But I think almost that the sort of the validation thing came from a place of seeing it in other people and really disliking it. From a young age, I feel like they were aware of that sort of dynamic. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I think that maybe it was them too. Maybe it was people in their family. Maybe it was just friends that were close to them. Who maybe they strove, I don't know. They wanted other people's validation. So, and it sort of changed how the turtle saw them. And then they had to realize, no, everyone's just a person. I can't make it that, I can't make it matter that much to other people when it just matters that much to me. And so they were they really care about not wanting other people's validation. They really care about, stepping into your own self and just being who you are and not caring about what other people have to say about it. But then they saw people who they thought felt the same way, then go out and try and want other people's validations. They saw them go out and be fake and adjust their personality and, you know, try to get other people to like them. And then they had to, you know, they had to just see that and be like, okay, well, you know, I still care about them as a person and I still like them. They're still my friend. I know that maybe that's not the energy I should convey, but, you know, maybe I shouldn't just hate everyone who does need other people's validation. Maybe I should sympathize with them instead. And so I think that's something that's very important to them right now. Let's see what else. Divine order, yeah. So they very much also believe in, like, if something wasn't for them, it's not for them. Oh my gosh, like a stone is flying. Yeah, so they very much, I mean, this is because Chris Cornell killed himself. And so this is a very emotional song for me. And I remember I was working at a concert where one of the artists played this song as a tribute to him because the concert occurred a few days after his passing. And I don't know. And I think that it brings up so this is like a personal story. So divine order, you know, with this happening, this is very much like it is fated. What happens was meant to happen. And but this, you know, this story, it reminds me of, I was in high school, my English teacher told us, you know, my wife miscarried one of our babies. Is it really fair to say that that's like divine order, that that's just meant to be, you know? What happened, it was just for the best. Is it fair for you to say that to me? And so I feel like this is sort of something that they've grappled with, you know, like they've always really felt like things happen for a reason, but then, like, can you say that? Can things that feel so horrible really happen for a reason? And maybe the answer is yes sometimes, but can it always be yes? It feels like, you know, certainly they probably learned, maybe not directly, but indirectly in life, that things can be very harsh for undeserving people. And I think that was a very hard lesson for them to learn, because I think that they really are dreamers. And I think that is kind of, yeah, again, that's like sort of what made it hard for them. That's what's making it hard for them to believe that their dreams could be realized, because, you know, their family's undoing, or their family's, you know, failure in some respect growing up, or someone they idolized failure growing up, just sort of made them realize that everyone can fail at any moment. And it was very scary for them. And so now they're just sort of like, oh man, like, is anything worth doing? I'm still gonna try, and I'll try really super hard, but like, is anything worth doing? Can my dream ever really happen? Yeah. So it's sort of like, you know, like disillusionment. That's what it feels like. Okay, so now we're going to talk about, actually, I'm going to do what they're like in a relationship, because, yeah, that's what I feel like makes most sense. I found the turtle. This is so weird, guys. What the fuck? Guys, it was literally just right here. Oh my god, like, tell me. That's insane. I swear to god, I was like looking. No way. This is actually, I feel, maybe that stuff's happening to you guys. Maybe like you're finding things all of a sudden. I think that's definitely your spirit guides communicating with you. And maybe this person's higher self communicating with you. Alright. Sorry. I talked so long. Hold on, I've got to see how long I've been. Oh my god, I've been going for a long time. Okay, now we're gonna talk about what they're like in a relationship. Hopefully I'm not gonna go so long. But I probably will. So let's see, what are they like in a relationship? Confusion, oh my god. Okay, confusion, and then these 4 cards came out though. Intimacy, heart and soul, the messenger, which we always love in relationships, and the beloved. So this also came out in pile 1. Confusion. So I think this just talks about how at first they will be a little hesitant to, you know, be completely emotionally vulnerable with you. And I think that they may be vulnerable with you in other ways. Like, I think that they may, you know, maybe they'll, like, if their love language is touch, maybe they'll, like, physically touch you a lot very early on. Or maybe they'll, like, give you a lot of gifts or do a lot of things for you. Like, they'll express their love in a lot of nonverbal ways, I feel like, early on. But I don't think that they will want to actually be outright vulnerable and clear with you about how exactly much they feel for you, because they are a little hesitant to be that vulnerable because they have had their heart broken in the past. And I wanted to say I didn't feel like it's anything serious, but I think solely because of how much emotion they feel, it was something serious. Like, I feel like every time it was a big deal for them because they feel things so intensely. I don't think it was a big deal because they loved the person especially much, or it was like just the most important thing ever in the world to them. But I think it's, you know, they feel things very intensely, and so over time they've just kind of gotten hypersensitized to things. But, you know, when that's aside, because they eventually will be emotionally vulnerable with you, like vocally, like they'll tell you, you know, they'll communicate it to you eventually. You know, you may have to do it first, which that does differ from pile 1. You may have to do it first, but I'm not sure. They could still do it first, and maybe that's like an especially big thing for them. But so you also got intimacy, so need I say more? I think that you guys are going to do very well together in that regard. Heart and soul. So I think, yeah, like not just, I mean, it's like sexual, but more so I think that it's like they feel like they can trust you so much. They're so relieved that they can be completely intimate with you, that they can give their heart and soul to you, that they can completely openly communicate with you, and they hold that so close to their heart. They love that so much. They appreciate it so much. And so that is sort of what almost like fuels your sex life in a way. Like, it very much, like, that's what keeps the fire ignited. The fact that, like, with time, obviously your loyalty only strengthens to one another because, like, you have such a solid foundation, because you guys will probably, I don't even know if it's friends, but you guys will be like flirty acquaintances for a while at first, and you guys will really grow to like respect each other the more you the more you like know each other and get to know about them and learn about them. And so I feel like that very solid foundation, then it's just like with time, you guys will prove your loyalty to each other, you know, time and time again. And so it will just like continually be just like, wow, somehow I love you even more than I did a year ago. Stuff like that. Oh my gosh, and this is Clumsy now. So yeah, Clumsy by Fergie. So it very much is that energy of like, they fell down a lot in the past. They got back up always again. Maybe it got a little harder with time, you know, the more times they fell down. But, you know, they always will get back up, and eventually, you know, they got back up for the right person. You. Yeah. So I feel like very much sex is sort of like a thing about intimacy for you. Or it's a thing about like love and care for you guys in your relationship. It's a way for you guys to express how much you care and love about each other. So I feel like it very much occurs like in the, I mean, just like in the little moments where you guys just like, you know, maybe someone buys the other their favorite snack and they're just like overcome with, you know, oh my god, that was so nice of you. Yeah, surrender and guardian angel. Yeah, so there very much is this sort of like guardian angel dynamic between them, where I think that the turtle person very much feels a sense of security in your presence. Look at how like these cards sort of mirror each other and how they're laying, but it's sort of like this one's resting and then this one's overlooking them. I feel like that's sort of like the dynamic, and I think that you guys both probably do it to each other, but I feel like because the turtle person is, my guess, probably the more emotionally vulnerable one in this connection. Or no, not the more emotionally vulnerable one, but just like the more emotionally tender one in this relationship. Like I feel like they probably are the one that they probably are the yeah, I think that they're the one that have more of like the relationship sort of trauma. I think that you may have like personal insecurity issues, like maybe you'll like, I don't know, really hate like a certain physical feature about yourself or something, or maybe you'll just really be insecure about your, I don't know, your personality or something. And the timer went off on that one. I thought that was weird for me to say insecure about your personality, but maybe that's it. Maybe you're like, I don't know, maybe there's something about your personality that you're just ashamed about. Maybe you're really quirky. Maybe you have a dry sense of humor. Maybe you talk really fast. Maybe you talk really slow. Maybe you have a list. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe that's not something about your personality. Maybe, I don't know, maybe like you have ADHD or something. Maybe there could be something about your personality that you're kind of insecure about, and so I feel like that's sort of where your battles are, but I feel like their battles are more so in the relationship dynamic, and so I think that you will have a very comforting presence for them. In that regard, I feel like you will be very, very secure for them, and they will really, really, really love and appreciate this about you. And I think that'll make them want to surrender. It'll make them want to like be the person that communicates and gives you like what you deserve in a relationship. And I think that they really can be and are that person. It's just they really need to be able to trust you first. And I think that like just again with time they trust you more and more. And I mean, it's not like they're not at 100 yet. They're like, they trust you, and then it's like, wow, like somehow I trust them even more, and I didn't even know that was possible, just because like they keep proving to me that they're a great person. Yeah. So let's see, anything else about what they're like in a relationship? Oh my gosh, Jenny was a friend of mine. Yeah, maybe they've had a pretty dramatic past. Maybe that was something, like, I know that they seem pretty non-dramatic from the outside, but maybe that's something that's relatively new, because maybe in the past they were sort of more socially present. Maybe they, because they can be, I feel like they're an introvert, but they're also sort of giving me ambivert energy, where I think that they're also kind of like outgoing, but they can also be, wanting to have times to themselves. So I think there was maybe a period of their life where they stepped more into their social being. Yeah, where I think they probably stepped more into their social being, and maybe during that period of their life they had a lot more drama in it. And so maybe that's sort of when all of like the relationship trauma sort of started building. It's, during this period of their life where they were trying to be more they were really focusing on one part of themselves. They weren't focusing on the other part of themselves that like to be low-key and hang out by themselves and, you know, create and emotionally express and stuff like that. They were stepping more into like the socialite aspect of themselves, and then they were, you know, maybe a little gossipy, maybe they were just hanging out with too many people who weren't that great of influences. And so, yeah, I think that so now, very much in a relationship, they make sure that they only surround themselves with like the right energy now, so they are very good at boundaries now. They learned their lessons from the past, and I think that kind of aids in this sort of need to get to know you first before fully trusting you. Slow down and celebrate yourself. Feast. But they're like, oh my gosh, okay, so this is like, they pamper you for sure. Like, I think that they really appreciate, I'm gonna start tearing up, they really appreciate your presence and how much they can trust you and how loyal you are. And they just sort of love that so much, and I feel like they just constantly want to prove to you, because they do still have like trouble with the verbally expressing things, you know, like maybe it's even something like they can write songs about you, but they can't like actually just tell you, like look you in the eye and tell you like I love you. Maybe that's actually so difficult for them, but they can like, yeah, write songs or something. And so I feel like they'll try to be that person, and they'll want to do so much for you, and they'll want to just pamper you. Oh my gosh, Mira, be your own first priority. Yeah, and they'll want to make sure that you love yourself properly in the right ways, and that you exhibit self-care, and it's like be your own first priority, but I feel like they're gonna be like, you know, we are extensions of each other. You are my first priority, and in turn, that makes me my first priority. Three cards. Oh my god, Lioness came out too. Library. Take control of your own narrative. Voyage, you already have all the answers. Yeah. This is a very dreamy energy. So I think that maybe in a relationship, maybe they'll be a little insecure actually. That this is like, because I feel like they do feel such pure joy and elation in your relationship. Maybe they'll be a little insecure, like not anything serious, because again, they do trust you ultimately, but I feel like what they're scared of is this feeling of immense joy that they have, because it is so closely reminiscent of this like joy that they have in this like dream life. And I feel like this is one of the instances where it's like, wow, the dream is actually realized, like I'm actually like this beautiful love that I was fantasizing about is actually came true, and here they are. And it honestly, it does scare them, because they're like, but my dreams, they're normally just in my head, they're not real, so what is this? I don't understand. Is this real? And so I think that maybe that happens, maybe that occurs, maybe that's a relevant conversation that you guys have, and maybe this is, you know, maybe it's something that you struggle with too, because again, you have your, you know, you you do have your own insecurities. You know, everyone has insecurities, but I don't get the vibe that it's like one person is sort of going through it and the others, they're helping them. I more so get the vibe that if these are two people who are on their own journeys, and right now I'm just talking about your spouse's journey, and there's very little sort of about your journey. But I feel like you do definitely have a journey, and probably a very complex one, as well, because I think that they have a complex journey too. And so I think that they're going to be really supportive of you as you're on your journey to accepting and embracing the beauty of this relationship and yourself. And maybe, you know, yeah. So it could be something like you're insecure, so you don't trust maybe that they love you. Maybe. You know, just take what resonates again. And maybe their struggle is they see how beautiful and everything that this is, and it just sort of triggers a fear retreat instinct in them because this is just so associated with dreams and non-reality. But of course they know that it's real. And they know sort of, yeah, they know it's real, and they also very much, they do think it's fated, because the thing is, it's like, you are so loyal. They do really trust you so much, and it's like, you never do anything that makes them think anything different. And so it's like, yeah, this is something that they struggle with, feeling like, could this be real? Could this person be real? But it's like every day you prove to them that you are real. So it's very easy for them to sort of, you know, overcome this with you there. And so they do completely believe that you guys are like, you know, fated, meant to be together, that this is, you know, you are literally like their dream come true. And so I think that they will try to make that clear to you. I think that they'll put a lot of effort into learning the love languages that you appreciate receiving. So like if you really like people doing things for you, if you really like, you know, gifts or words of affirmation, I feel like they'll really put in a lot of effort to displaying that, even if it's something that they're not like that they're not naturally inclined towards doing. I feel like they'd naturally love to give you gifts and acts of service, things like that, but I think that, you know, the vocal verbal ones are going to be a little harder for them, but I think that they understand how much you appreciate those ways of expressing love, so I think that they'll put a lot of effort into expressing love in those ways. So now we're just going to get a little bit about their personality, and then I'm gonna call it a reading. I was gonna say I'm gonna call it a day, but I think I may continue with the sharks reading as well, the group number 3's reading. But my voice is literally going to shit. Like I'm gonna, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to delete that part, cut it out. But yeah, my voice is really not having a fun time. Oh my gosh. Ooh, so, oh my gosh, I'm honestly getting vibes of like Twilight. That's what this card reminds me of. Like the Cullens, like the last Breaking Dawn part 2, where they were like in the snow. I feel like there is something definitely unique about their appearance. And maybe it's like, yeah, I feel like when they walk in the room, they're social, they're not so outwardly social, they're not any more social than the average person, probably, and I think that's like almost purposeful, but I think that people notice them more than they notice the average person. They may really, I think that I don't know, it could be that either they like getting pedicures, or they like maybe like gifting you pedicures. So I can just like see her foot in there. I don't know. I think that they like the idea of self-care, but I'm not sure if they do many self-care things for themselves. I think that they really like gifting self-care things to you, though. Let's see, what else do they look like? think they may have like shaggy hair. And they may like physical activities. They may work out a lot. Or, yeah, I feel like if they do work out, it would be more so things like lifting weights and less so, like things like walking, biking, hiking. Or honestly, maybe they're into hiking. But I think that's sort of, yeah, I think that they do more like calculated, like trying to build muscle thing, sort of workouts. They could meditate. Let's see. What else about, oops. Anything else about their appearance? Yeah, just like definitely, I think that it's more so their energy. Like, I think that they have something, probably something eccentric out there, quirky about their appearance. But I think that also, like, they have an undeniable energy that draws people to them. Oh, universe, we're all just stardust. Yeah. I mean, they really do kind of have like a wise professor energy. Mirror, treat your body like the palace it is. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe they are into self-care, but maybe that's something that you need to like, help get out of them. I think that they like self-care, but like I think that maybe they like the pampering sort of self-care to gift to you, but I think that they probably would also really like, the pampering sort of self-care. Like maybe they, maybe they exhibit a lot of self-care by, going out, exercising, coming back, showering, meditating, stuff like that. And then they gift you things like, massage, pedicure. But then, I feel like they would actually really also like if you would gift that back to them, potentially. Or I think that they would secretly, really enjoy those things themselves. So I think that they're muscular. And they have a very unique, interesting presence. They probably have an interesting sense of style, or like maybe a unique staple piece of clothing that they wear, maybe potentially, glasses. I think that they probably enjoy going outside, at night. I think that they do probably enjoy going on walks. I don't think that it's for exercise. I think that it would be more so for meditation. I think that the exercise that they do would be more so in like an organized setting or like a gym setting. Maybe they would take like Pilates classes or something. But yeah. Let's see, anything else about their appearance? This person has big eyes, so they could always have big eyes. They could always have big eyes. Yeah. I mean, again, the sister that I was talking about, who this turtle reminds me of, has very big eyes. My sister. They could also wear glasses. This guy's wearing glasses, and I did already say that. They could also, they could wear like funky glasses and interesting sort of glasses. They could have their ears pierced. They may have like some sort of interesting piercing. I don't think that they have like a lot of piercings, but they could have like one interesting thing, maybe like one interesting tattoo that's visible or something. I think that a lot of the physical attraction that occurs between you two is things that are like because of stuff that's intangible. So I think it's because of, you know, the love that you have, the energy that draws in like each other in. I think that you guys are both very attractive, but I think that's what's most attractive to you guys is the energy and who the other person is, especially in the context of you guys and your own struggles. I think that who you guys are right now, you really appreciate who the other person is as well. And so I think that that is what creates a lot of the attraction between you two. The essence of who you guys are. Okay, I think I'm gonna say that's all the messages I have for you guys. Thank you very much for listening to this very, very long reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, if it resonated, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, especially because, you know, I'm not sure how sustainable, you know, doing these sort of readings are because, you know, especially if they keep being so long like this. So I would truly just like a gauge on, you know, how worth it would be. So, you know, if and anyone enjoys them and who and, you know, what about it they enjoy. So yeah, feel free to comment if you have any remarks, only good things, or like good energy things, you know, don't comment like very mean things, please. So yeah, okay. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Goodbye. Hello, pile 3. You are the shark pile. Welcome to your reading. I'll put that right there. So, this reading will be all about your future spouse. So, it'll be about who they are, you know, what type of person they are, and how they have grown to become that person. What journey exactly have they been on to become the person that they are, and how that person manifests themselves in your relationship. So, we are going to be talking about their upbringing, their personality, their character, values, their appearance, and then how they are in a relationship. So, first, I'll give you some messages that I have just sort of right off the bat from channeling the energy of your little shark. I think that they may have a noticeable smile. They may have like a really adorable smile, or just, I don't know, maybe dimples, or, you know, braces in their teeth that you notice, but like it looks nice and cute still. Even though it's like very noticeable, it works out really well with their whole vibe and everything. I think that also they probably do have this sort of more intense energy to them. I don't think intense as in really intimidating off the bat. I'm just talking about like in comparison to the other piles. I feel like the other piles, they also had intense energies, and also sort of like masculine energies, but it was more sort of beneath the surface, you know. I feel like that, I don't know, I feel like that they looked physically pretty not intimidating, the other piles. But I feel like, yeah, this guy, you know, you have the shark. I feel like they could potentially not really look intimidating, but maybe they have something about them. Like they're really strong, or maybe they have some tattoos or a piercing, or just something like maybe edgy about their like physical appearance, or maybe, you know, more intense. Like yeah, maybe they work out a lot, and so they're really strong and muscular. Or maybe they do just look like really conventionally attractive, so, and you're just sort of like, you assume that people like that, you know, are sort of maybe a little stuck up or pretentious, or, I don't know, not approachable. Something like that. But I think that they definitely have a more innocent energy to them, I guess, than the other groups. I feel like not really so innocent, but I feel like they're interestingly enough, they're pretty unassuming, even though they are, you know, the shark, and they may have something jarring about their appearance. They're very, take what resonates, but yeah, something more intense about them appearance-wise, or maybe, you know, when it is you first meet them, I think that they may have something, yeah, you know, maybe it is like they're really attractive and they have a really nice smile, and that's what you notice about them, but also just maybe you as a person, your particular journey in love has showed you that maybe the more conventionally attractive someone is, the more maybe arrogant and manipulative they could be, potentially. You know, so it could be that, or it could be something completely different. It could be literally just like maybe they have a tattoo. Maybe they actually have a tattoo of a shark or something like that. Or could be that you know, meet them near a beach or a body of water or some sort of outdoor nature type setting. But also it could be just that, they have a tattoo and you're just kind of intimidated by tattoos. Maybe you don't have one yourself, or maybe they have a piercing, you know, a very unique piercing potentially, but yeah, it could be something like that, and then they turn out being just a very nice, not intimidating person, like a very approachable person, in fact, actually. So I'll put him right here during the reading. Okay, so we're going to start off with their upbringing. Just what about their upbringing could have stood out as being something just relative to them and their story. And, you know, yeah, something, a lot of the time, I mean, our family, usually family is just like kind of almost defined by who you just spend a lot of time with growing up, who you're surrounded by. So they obviously have, you know, a very large impact on your development, because, you know, I am sort of just really defining this sort of upbringing portion as, just what was notable in their upbringing in those, like, very important years of development that sort of stuck with them as something that's impacted them and affected who they are today, you know, if anything. And it could be that it isn't anything, or it could be it's, you know, a complicated mix of stuff, like maybe, in some of the other piles it was very much like good stuff happened, but also some not great stuff happened. And maybe, I mean, I don't want to speak too much about what was in the other piles. If you do feel called to watch them, feel free to. But yeah, I get that they're very long. They're very long, and they're weirdly, I feel, detailed almost. I'm not sure. Let me know if you have any opinions. I have no idea. I did try to go back and watch pile 2, but I still kind of was a little, I don't know, a little lost. Yeah, I'm just kind of in a headspace right now where I'm sort of not very receptive to a lot of messages that I get through readings, and I feel like it is because I think I do channel a lot of the collective energy, so I have a lot of things that I resonate with, and it's because I think I feel very much the other life past lives that I've lived, and also potential life paths that I could go on now. But as I'm sort of learning lessons, I'm consciously, you know, rejecting those life paths, I guess. And maybe that's relevant to you and something that you're doing. Maybe you do feel like you're making some big changes in your life right now. And I'm talking about you right now. I'm not even talking about the spouse. So yeah, maybe it could be something that your spouse is, or your future spouse is mirroring right now. But I definitely feel it for your energy. You could be making some big life-changing decisions for yourself right now. And you may feel like you're sort of, I don't know, it may be a little daunting because you may feel like you're starting to envision a life for yourself that you're not used to envisioning. And maybe it's still exciting, but it's still just different. And so you're going to have to make some adjustments in your life to fit this new dream that you have. And it's always hard dealing with change because it always requires effort to enact that change. Okay, so we're going to talk about the upbringing of your future spouse now. Let's see. So, what about their upbringing? What about their upbringing, Spirit? Knight of Wands. Okay. Knight of Wands. I feel like they were probably pretty active as a child. A Hierophant. Aww. Okay. Hold on. What else? Well, yeah, just as a random other note, I'm getting that they were probably pretty active. Maybe they were probably an athlete. Probably pretty good. Oh, Wheel of Fortune, yeah. they were probably a very good athlete, I feel like. Oh my gosh, and then the King of Pentacles flipped out, but actually before that one came out, was the Queen of Swords, but the King of Pentacles, oh my gosh, I've been calling it the King of Pentacles, but it's the Knight of Pentacles. Oh my gosh, okay, so that's definitely, alright, let me channel this energy. Okay. So for this part specifically, I am definitely feeling, yeah, there could have been some hobby or something that they were really into growing up, and they probably really wanted to make a life out of it, and maybe they did, maybe they were able to, but I mean, this may only resonate for a few of you. I'm not sure. It could resonate for actually a lot of you, but it could be different things, you know. It could be a sport that they were really good at, or maybe they were just really good at, you know, numbers, and so they became an accountant, or they really wanted to be a really successful accountant. They were really great at arguing, and so, yeah, I mean, the Queen of Swords was sort of lazy to come out that way. Not lazy, but she was sort of like, but then the Knight of Swords was like, it was very aggressive to come out. And it came out after the Queen of Swords, but it came out so much more confidently than the Queen of Swords. And I was calling it a King of Pentacles. I was like, oh my gosh, a King of Pentacles, but it's the Knight of Pentacles. It's not the King, but it came out like a Knight. Or, it's not a King, but it came out like a King. But it is just sort of a Knight. So I think that it is something I don't know. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna hold where's my lapis lazuli, because I just coughed at least a little bit. So I'm also gonna drink a little bit of water, excuse me. Okay, so I think that this could have totally been something. So there are a few messages that I have. It could have been, you know, yeah, this was some particular strength of theirs that they recognized in their childhood that they always felt like they could and should capitalize on as probably, you know, a career. And it could either be that they weren't totally successful at bringing it to the place that they wanted it to be. You know, just sort of like an extreme example that I immediately think of is that, you know, maybe they wanted to play in the major leagues for baseball, but they could only ever make it to the minor leagues. But they always wanted to make it to the major leagues, and so they were, you know, the fact that they couldn't make it all the way in, you know, the extent of time with the amount of effort that they felt like they should have been able to make it kind of disillusions them like as a whole for pursuing baseball as, you know, a career path for the rest of their life. So hold on, I'm going to channel some more energy about it. Because this is about, okay, so this is about their upbringing. So it isn't really even so much about their family so much as it is about sort of like their own destiny or path that they felt they had laid out for themselves from such a young age. Okay, I'm gonna see what else comes out. Oh my gosh, so the Chariot. So I mean, the Chariot and the Star, oh my gosh, okay, so I feel like their family was a part of this, like not because it was really like their family was a part of it, but because, you know, I think maybe it is whatever they pursued was, you know, something that was part of the family, or, you know, maybe it was, yeah, for just keeping with the baseball example, you know, maybe it was their parents were baseball players and their parents' parents were baseball players, and so they were all in their family and they all really enjoyed baseball and baseball games, and so they were, you know, they were so excited that, you know, this person turned out to be such a great baseball player, and they were really encouraging of them chasing their dream, even though it really was, you know, a dream that they, okay, I'm putting my foot out, I'm just making sure that it's not in the camera, it's not, okay, good, but, yeah, so they had, I mean, this is honestly, like, a relatively nice energy that I'm getting, because it is, like, oh my gosh, I am kind of tearing up a little bit. It is really, they did have a dream, and it was, like, there was still, like, look, oh my gosh, this is beautiful, actually. I'm just noticing this symmetry now. So it starts and ends sort of right here with the night, and once, like, I mean, I was gonna say once again, but it's not really once again. Oh, it's only once again if you watch the other piles, but anyway, I was gonna say, I'm sorry, I ramble. I was gonna say, once again, I'm saying how I sort of intuitively set out the spread. I don't have a set spread in mind, and this is how I've intuitively set it out. And so it's beautiful because, you know, so first of all, we have the Knight of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, so two knights, very much sort of sandwiching these two very faded, important destiny type energies. This is about intentionally making something a part of your life, and then this is something being very much, you know, a destined sort of part of your life, and it's, you know, sandwiched by these two knights that are, you know, this one's very active and this one is very grounded, and so this one's very passionate and this one's very grounded, so it's sort of both like a very fiery, like this is a dream that I can achieve, and also a very grounded, like this is, you know, a career path and a, you know, something, a destiny for me, like something that I'm meant to do and something that I'm supported in doing by my family. And then here we have, you know, the Chariot with this confident woman, and then the Queen of Swords, which is another confident woman, and then, you know, this woman in the Star. And so, and, you know, the Star card very much doesn't really focus on the energy of the woman, but it's, you know, the star energy around it. But then again, it's sandwiched by these two other very confident, strong, sort of woman-centric energies. And so I'm feeling like probably their mom specifically had a very important part in just helping them probably believe that they could achieve this also, and like encouraging them and making them feel like they were capable. And I feel like it could potentially be that maybe that made it even harder for them to, you know, not be able to make it all the way, or just not be able to, oh my god, I spilled all the cards, or not be able to make it in the way that they wanted to make it in the time span with the amount of effort in the way that they wanted to. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna take another sip of water. Oh, I should be, okay, hold on. I was gonna say I should be, timing this with my little timer. Sorry, I need to check the time to see how long it's been recording. Alright, 17 minutes. Okay, oh my gosh, so that's about their upbringing. So overall, I'm not saying much about their family in general. Hold on, so I'm gonna ask, like, specifically, like, I'm gonna have one specific question for this next card that comes out. Just, what was the energy of their family dynamic? What was the energy of their family dynamic? And, you know, so I'm going to see. Oh my God! So the Ten of Pentacles. So that's what I'm talking about. So I was going to say, right before this slowly sort of plopped out like this, I was going to say, you know, looking at these cards right now, we already have some really great energy. And so I was going to say, I always think whenever I'm using a deck and I'm asking a specific question and I'm getting an answer, you know, I always remember that the cards can only tell me, they can only give me a card that hasn't already been given already from this deck. And so I always remember, you know, I'm working, it's an uneven ratio. So it's like, already it's sort of like this, the energy of this, it's not very, probably not very common to get such wonderful, important feeling, like dreamy yet also grounded, passionate, but also fruitful energy of, you know, these cards already. But then it's like, you know, I was thinking to myself, I was shuffling the deck, that there are only so many other great cards that can come out. And then you get like the Ten of Pentacles. So it is very much, you know, oh my gosh, this is one of like the classic great cards because it's, you know, complete material fulfillment, but then it also has, you know, honestly, the energy of the card is very similar to the Six of Cups to me, which is a very, you know, homely, adorable, wholesome, childlike, innocent, comforting, nostalgic energy. And it's like, you know, a soulmate energy. It's always, and to me, I've always come across readers referring it to as, you know, an ultimate soulmate energy when it comes to love readings. So I'm getting a similar vibe from this. But it's, you know, Ten of Pentacles. So it is, again, once, you know, their family, I don't even know if they were just very materially abundant themselves or they just, you know, they were fine. Maybe it wasn't that they were, you know, filthy rich, but they were fine. But they all really did have probably this common hobby or common interest, and they all probably got along pretty well because they were so similar in that respect. And I think that made it, yeah, that just made it hard for this person to sort of want to divert from this path. And it could be, you know, I gave the baseball player example, but it could be, you know, yeah, it was like maybe they come from a family of lawyers, and so they always were like, yeah, I'm great at like debating and everything, I should be a lawyer too. And then eventually they realized maybe it's not even that they don't want to be a lawyer and want to be something drastically different, but maybe it's like, maybe I don't want to be a lawyer, instead I want to be, you know, a politician or something like that. Or just, you know, I want to, I was going to say maybe I want to own a business, but that seems a little drastically different, but maybe they do, and maybe it's, you know, some sort of like, consulting sort of business. Maybe it's, you know, instead of wanting to be involved with the law side of something, it's they want to be involved in, you know, this coaching side of it because they enjoy, you know, the therapeutic aspect. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to put this guy back. So yeah, it could be something like that. You know, just something, some sort of common thing that their family, and maybe it wasn't even, you know, their family was good at it, but maybe it was their family just supported them so much in doing it, you know? Maybe it was this person was always, they always aspired to be a doctor, and they were always great with science and doctor-related stuff. And maybe the family was super bad at it, but because they were so bad at that sort of stuff, they were that much more excited that this child was into it. And so they supported them so much, and they were so excited when the child was going to, you know, pursue this exciting career path that no one else in their family really could ever want to or think of achieving. I think that it definitely is also like, whoever this person is, they're definitely very skilled. So I think that they have the ability to achieve a lot of different things. And so I think that also makes it even that much harder to sort of decide on what to do, because they really do have so many different potential paths laid out before them, and it's very much in their hands to sort of decide between all of these options that they could choose, you know, what path is most aligned with them. And, you know, I think that very much for a long time that they were just assuming that this one way of living, one way of existing, this one way of thinking about living in the world, you know, whether that be, oh, I'm always going to be an athlete, I'm always going to be a lawyer, I'm always going to be a doctor, I'm always going to be a writer, I'm always going to be, you a creative, or I'm always going to be a very corporate person, something like that. But it was like, it made it so much harder because this person was so supported by their family and they felt their family's love so much. And like, I'm really not seeing many red flags. And if there was a red flag, then good news is, a red flag, I'm talking about, maybe their parents were divorced, but I'm seeing, even if that's the case, which it could be, I feel like it was very amicable divorce, and they have a fine relationship now, and their children are like, yep, everyone was better off for it. And so I feel like it very much was a very close-knit family and they relied on each other a lot. And yeah, I think that closeness made it almost hard for this person to open up about their true feelings because they just did not want to disappoint anyone. All right, and so that's when I'm gonna leave it about your future spouse upbringing. That was a wonderful energy. Honestly, I didn't know if I was gonna have the energy to talk and channel this stuff right now with the shark, but I decided to. I pulled some cards on it myself, and the cards told me to take control and do it, so I did, and that was a wonderful energy that came through. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, and again, I'm saying, like, maybe it isn't even that they were materially abundant, but they were comfortable, they were fine. Maybe they weren't, affluent, but they could afford things, and they didn't have to worry the children about money. But maybe, maybe it was a thing. Maybe it was like, we were fine growing up, but, we can't afford to send you to, like, such a super expensive college, so, you're going to have to take out loans, or you're going to have to go to a public school. Maybe it was something like that. Or that could just be like, a smaller example of something. I mean, I know that that's definitely a reality for most people. College is very, very expensive. Yeah, but again, it very much gives the impression that, like, I feel like they didn't think I was going to say I feel like they didn't think too much of money growing up, but I feel like they did, but not in a way where it was like a lack mindset way, but just in a way of like one day I could just, absolutely have whatever I wanted. And not in like a greedy sort of way, but just in like almost like a dreamy child way, just being like what if I have a mansion and a bunch of cars and I can eat whatever I want, and dress however I want, and live whatever type of life I want. Yeah. Alright, so now we're going to talk about their personalities. So I'm already, oh my gosh, I mean, to want to pursue whatever it is that they're want to pursuing. I feel like I could just go off about their personality just based on what we got about their upbringing. But here we are. Okay, yeah. So what we got is so first, what I was going to say about, what we got about their upbringing. To want to pursue and have the energy to pursue whatever they did pursue for a long time. They definitely did have to be a very strong person, a very tenacious person, a very hardworking person. And I feel like, yeah, they probably got, I'm not sure how much time they had for fun. I feel like probably more so than, going out and partying or just relaxing and binging TV shows. They probably more so just hung out with their family, honestly, I'm getting. Or like, relaxed with like a friend or something. But I'm more so getting probably family. But yeah, I think that they definitely, they like to achieve what they want to achieve, so they're, yeah, very tenacious, and they will consistently work for doing what they want to do and achieve what they want to achieve. And so I feel like that this leaves them feeling very sort of exhausted and burnt out a lot of the time, but still motivated to continue. And so I think that that's probably just something, I think that that's probably going to aid them in learning that whatever it was that they wanted to pursue for the rest of their lives isn't sustainable in continuing to pursue, because it probably does really burn them out. And I think it, it may give them the resources that they want, but I think that ultimately they're feeling like they just have to put so much more into it. Like, look at him just like ready to shoot his arrows so confidently, so quickly. This is like the speed card, but this is like the exhaustion, completion, like done. Like, look at him getting like carried off, like just passed out or like dead by these two guys with all these swords. Some still sticking up, some fallen. He's done, but this what guy came out first, and then this guy came out, and that's how they're spread. And so it's, I'm dying, I'm passed out, I'm spent, but I'm gonna work hard anyway. And then it's Queen of Cups, so it very much is like I think like it's probably, I don't even, in some of the other groups, there were only 2 other groups. I forget which ones / if any. But I think that in at least one, there was sort of an energy of not understanding or not being aware of their emotional side beforehand. But I feel like more so with this shark guy, it wasn't so much that they didn't know about their emotional energy, but that they very much consciously had to suppress it because they were working hard, they were achieving their goals, they were living their life, they had a schedule, set boundaries of stuff, a list of stuff that they knew that they, had to get done in a day. And then when they did that, they relaxed in very much the same sort of way that they've always known, maybe just watching TV with their parents, siblings, what have you, dog, pet. And then, but they always knew that they did have an emotional side. They were sensitive, but they did always kind of also know that they probably didn't have time, or they didn't feel like having time for sort of dealing with that side of themselves. So they very much consciously suppressed it. See, I can just imagine these arrows going over her head, and sort of just like the energy of it sort of just encompassing it and closing on it, like bubbling it up, or keeping it down, and then eventually, inevitably, it must bubble up. But again, it's because they are a hardworking person. Look what else came out. They are a hardworking person. They're in touch with their emotions. I think that definitely right now, by the time you meet them or come into union with them, at least, they definitely would have had a good reign on this, on their emotions. Look at him, like 9 of Cups. I feel like, yeah, it's very much is this 9 of Cups, the 9 and 10 of Cups, they're both very happy, joyous cards. You get similar energy of fulfillment and satisfaction, and just sort of, sensual needs met and everything with these cards. Maybe sensual is a little bit more of this one. But, the 10 of Cups, has a little bit more of a familial aspect of it, but I feel like this one is more so of a burgeoning familial aspect to it. And anyway, what I'm trying to say by that is both these cards sort of elicit a great feeling, but, it is 9 of Cups versus the 10 of Cups. So this isn't the 10 of Cups. This is still the 9 of Cups. So there is one more card to go, one more cup to get, and I feel like that's sort of where you come in as their future spouse. Whereas the other, maybe one or both the other groups, I forget which, again, sort of, the future spouse was more so going to be an active part of this person's healing. I feel like once you guys come into union, and probably even by the time you meet, they will very much, know these lessons themselves, and maybe just the final piece of the puzzle is having you by their side as they just put the actions that they already knew they had to do before, put those actions into place and actually do them. But I feel like that they very much are, they know their lessons. They've learned everything. Not everything, of course, but they've learned the lessons that they're supposed to. You are not really supposed to be there to hold their hand through anything. You were supposed to be there sort of at the finish line as like, a nice sort of, oh my gosh, it's such a corny, weird analogy, but like, yeah, you're supposed to be there, at the finish line as a nice treat, reward, but also, just destined next step for when they're done this other huge journey of putting their foot down, and making this drastic change in their life. And I think before, if I'm not mistaken, back in the very beginning part of this reading, I did talk about, I think I did channel that you're probably making some big drastic transformations in your life. And I was like, maybe your spouse is also mirroring it, but I'm getting more so you. But now, like, it's looking like, yeah, maybe you're currently mirroring that energy, but I think very much your spouse was already previously in that energy. And they have gone through it. They come out the other end. They would have learned the lessons that they needed to have learned by the time that they met you. And these lessons pertain definitely to about, emotionally validating themselves, being in their emotions, recognizing and empowering this other aspect of themselves that probably they had to put on the back burner as they were pursuing whatever it is that they wanted to before. And, now it very much was before they met you. And it could be, before they met you, maybe they were in this job or something that they always wanted and always thought that would fulfill them emotionally, but then they found out that it didn't fulfill them emotionally, and so they had to break it to their parents. And right before they met you, or not right before, but maybe, a year or so before they met you, months or so, they broke it to their parents that they were changing jobs, and they finally, got around to doing that. So yeah, it would have already happened. Okay, about personality. I'm checking the time again. Oh my gosh, time. Alright, more about their personality. What else about their personality would you like to say? What else about their personality? What else about their personality? Knight of Cups. So we're getting Knight of Cups too. So yeah, I think that they are kind of a softie, I feel like. I think that they will be a softie with you. Yeah. And I think that they will be, they're not quite in the King of Cups, and I feel like they're not even fully in the Queen of Cups. I am sort of feeling the energy of this Queen of Cups being kind of blocked. And so I think that they're sort of in the energy of going from the Knight of Cups into a mature Queen of Cups / King of Cups, to get a full, awareness of their emotions, but also grasp of their emotions. But I feel like sort of the energy that you meet them in is this Knight of Cups, where they know they're self-aware probably, but maybe they can't regulate so well. So yeah, maybe they know what triggers them, but they aren't that great at calming themselves down after they've been triggered. So maybe you do meet them in a sort of transitionary state, but their personality very much is, they are emotional, and they are sensitive, and they're not so much learning to be okay with it, but they're learning to just like recognize it, but then also, I guess, not instantly try to repress it. I feel like before, yeah, their instinct was like, emotion, okay, yep, I have it, move on, next thing. But it's more so like, no, I have an emotion, I need to explore this further. And I think that kind of, yeah, we're getting a lot, honestly, we're getting a fair amount of messages about how you guys meeting and like your first, this sort of the first little initial part of your journey. I feel like probably more so than in the other groups. But I feel like, yeah, probably part of you guys meeting is part of them like proving to themselves, yes, I am consciously trying to change. Maybe before, they would have seen you, they would have known you, they would have talked to you, they would not have really felt like they should pursue you just because they have these other things, these other goals in their life. And maybe there's some sort of, rational or logical, logistical barrier, you know? Maybe it is something like long distance, or maybe it's just something as simple as, you know, you guys just come from 2 different backgrounds. Maybe, you know, it could be something like that, just something where, like, and maybe before they would have had too much of a reductionist approach, where maybe they had a list of things where they were going, you know, to check off, or, you know, just a list of things that maybe just made someone incompatible, they felt like, with their family. You know, another example I can think of, maybe their family's religious, and maybe your family's also religious, but different religion, and maybe they would have just been like, not even, it wouldn't have even been like my family would reject them, but it would be like, oh, that's just something that would make it a little bit harder, so probably not meant to be, because it would make it just a little complicated. And if it's complicated, then it's just not the right thing. Because I think that they really did have a very reductionist mindset, very black and white way of thinking, with, yeah, very much where it's like, if I do this, then it will lead to here, and if I am here, then I will be happy and feel this way. And then they grew up and did these things, and then they didn't get the outcome that they wanted. And so they're learning, you know, maybe, oh my gosh, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I mean, they're learning that basically doing what they always assumed they should do will not necessarily make the world respond in the way that they thought it would, you know. And I think that that's the same for pursuing you. So I think that before, yeah, maybe there's something. I mean, this is pretty vain, but it could have even been something like, you know, I have only ever really dated people with brown hair, so I would not date someone with any other color hair except for brown, just because that's what I've always dated, and that's just, everyone in my family has brown hair. And so that's just what I'm used to. That's what it will be. And it's not even so much of like a, if this person comes around and they have a different color hair, I will consciously reject them. It's more so of like a, I am expecting this, and this, because that's what I'm used to. And simply that's just what for better or for worse, that's just what I always expected and envisioned. And so I think that their journey is making them realize, I have to open my mind more. And their personality, I think that's a beautiful thing about their personality, is that they had these sort of repressed instincts that they're now recognizing and exploring, because they're wanting to be more open, because they're realizing how much being so close-minded and expecting such strict results, how limiting that was. And I think that they're coming into probably more of an abundance mindset now. And I think that that's probably very reminiscent of how they felt as they were younger. I feel like when they were younger, they probably had a very good, you know, when they first encountered this potential career path or a hobby that they would pursue or want to pursue, I feel like that they had a very dreamy-like energy about it, and that's what sort of propelled them in those early years. And then eventually it just became something that they needed to make themselves do to eventually become happy. And then, so, you know, the dream wore off, and they became disillusioned with it, and they realized it couldn't make them happy, and now they're sort of reconnecting with their dreamy, childlike energy, while also, you know, their dreamy childlike energy, and they're also their emotional energy and their want for abundance. They're reconnecting with that and learning how they can sort of ground that energy in the real world again with a new hobby or a new way of living or something else. And they realize that, like, learning more about themselves and what makes them genuinely happy is going to be what helps them find a path for them that will truly lead to the happiness that they were always expecting the other path to lead to. So that's beautiful. That's some stuff about their personality. Oh my gosh, I rambled for so long. I feel like that definitely gave us some good energy about their character and values too. the reason why I divided up personality versus character and values is because I just wanted, some greater clarity on, things like, oh, they're really funny versus things like they are very, they will never lie and stuff like that. Or like they will never cheat on you because they've been cheated on before, more like presentation stuff, and then deeper stuff. But I feel like pretty deep stuff came out just then. But I'm still gonna get some stuff about their character and values. Oh my gosh. And I feel like I sort of want to combine, already so much energy is coming out about how it's going to manifest in your relationship. And so I'm sort of, I think that the next thing I'm going to do, I think I'm going to consciously sort of combine the character and values, and then also how it manifests in your relationship, how the character and values manifest in your relationship, because I'm already feeling the energy that they're going to be the same things, whatever cards I feel like would come out for those two parts of this reading, I feel like they would be the same. So, hold on, I'm going to take actually another sip of water because it sucks. I have the energy for this, but it's so weird. My voice, it just hurts so much, and like my mouth hurts from talking and moving my jaw, and I'm so incredibly sensitive to speaking. It's honestly kind of a nuisance because, for a lot of the career paths and everything that I'm interested in, and things that I like for hobbies involve talking and using my mouth and interaction. Whew, alright, so character and values. What are their character and values? Oh my gosh, this is not the deck that I intended to pick up. Not the deck I intended to pick up. I intended to pick up the other deck. But you know what? I believe that happened for a reason. And so I think that definitely some card wants to come out. And this came out. Oh my gosh. Stand in center. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, first I'm going to see if any other card wants to come out from this deck first. Oop. And then we had this card just also popping out. Purgatory. Oh my god. So this is kind of intense. Alright. So honestly, for some of you, take what resonates. But I feel like they or you could definitely have could have had a very religious upbringing. Potentially you both. But yeah, both of these are very, this is a religious deck, first of all. It's the Mary Magdalene deck, I think. I'm pretty sure that's the name. But both these cards are very religious. So Saint, Sinner, and then Purgatory. And so that's insane because what's in between Saint and Sinner? It's Purgatory. What's in between Heaven and Hell? Purgatory. So I think that their character, I think it may be, they do have these two different sides to themselves. Maybe they do have a very grounded, motivated side to themselves, but then they also have a very dreamy, passionate side to themselves. And it is very hard for them to reconcile both of them. And I think that this message came through in a different pile too. And so I think that could very much, may be hard to marry two different sides of themselves. But I think it also is, so their character and values, Saint, Sinner, Purgatory. I think their values very much are in doing what is right. And so I think that again, that may have made it really jarring for them to realize that what they always thought was right actually may not continue to be right for the rest of their lives. And so I think that it was sort of a moment of like, oh my gosh, was I always wrong? Was I always just so, how could I be so, maybe they were really angry at themselves, how could I be so stupid? And maybe they feel after they sort of leave this one part of themselves behind to go on, pursue something else, maybe they very much don't know what to do. They don't know what to pursue. And it's really hard for them because they again, like, this dream was always something that motivated them. They are very much motivated by their dreams and by their emotional desires. And so, which is, yeah, very weird energy because, again, they kind of almost consciously repressed their emotions growing up, but they also very much acted out of their emotions. So they always acted out of, like, you know, this will bring me the ultimate emotional fulfillment. I will feel so much love, you know, if I do this career, it will just make me feel so good about myself, and I'll have such just a wonderful, abundant life, and I'll live exactly how I want to. And this dream was very important for motivating them, but then, you know, and so I think that also that end goal is what helped them sort of be able to shut down their emotions on the way, because they were like, you know, when I get to the end, that's when I'm gonna get everything I wanted. And then, you know, maybe they get to the end, or they get to where they think should be the end, and maybe it's not the end, or maybe it's the wrong type of end they wanted, or a different end. So, and then they have to, you know, scratch that and start all over, and it's uncomfortable because they don't like not having a dream, they don't like not having a solid dream, they don't like not having a path to go down, they don't like having an empty slate, honestly. They like having a set of things to follow, because they want to feel grounded in this dream. And I think that that's sort of the difference between the other energies. I think that, or in the other piles, I think that they sort of, the other energies, they were okay with living in their dreams and fantasies, but I think that this person very much, they're okay living in their dreams and fantasies, but only because they're so determined to make them reality. And if they don't have a set dream, a set concrete dream to achieve, and they don't have like a list of ways to achieve it, then that makes them feel very uncomfortable, and it makes them feel like they won't ever be able to tangibly achieve this dream. And so, okay, I was feeling like it was going to be about how it manifests in your relationship, but I think that, yeah, this is sort of, this part right here is definitely more so about just them, and their character and values. They very much value having a dream. They value taking real motivated steps to achieve that dream. And they are someone who just, they do that. That's very second nature of them. And it is making me kind of upset on their behalf, I guess. Because I feel like they're so disappointed in themselves for this other thing not working out, and for being wrong the whole time. And so they are sort of feeling like they're in purgatory right now. Purgatory, I don't know what it is. Character and values. So we're going to get some of these cards now. I forgot what these are called. Character and values. So yeah, they may be, I mean, regardless, I feel like they are religious, or they are spiritual right now, or I feel like they have a very connected crown chakra and third eye. I feel like they're very intuitive, they're very in touch with themselves, they're very good at reading other people, and they're very self-aware. They are very much an admirable energy. I just, like, objectively speaking, they are very, just to themselves, they are very genuine and down to earth. I feel like in some of the other groups, maybe it wasn't so second nature to be down to earth, but it was, yeah, more so a conscious decision. And so because it being more of a conscious decision that they recognized and wanted, you know, to be like, they recognized it in other people more so, but I think, that just came out. I don't think I meant to say that. I don't think I meant to say recognize other people, but anyway, whatever, I'm gonna put that aside. I think that it made them, it made them kind of oblivious to how genuine they are, but, so I think that it's very second nature, it's very natural instinct to just be who they are, and I think that that's in part because who they are naturally is conventionally liked, so they're probably conventionally attractive, even though they may be a little intimidating looking, I think that they are just like, or people just very naturally get along with them, but anyway, what I think I was going to, when I got interjected with, I think that was maybe an aside, it was a message separately, take what resonates, of course, always, but, oh my god, I'm so chaotic. Anyway, I think that maybe would have made this person hard to sniff out people who are fake or people with bad intentions, because they don't have like any bad intentions, because they're so true to who they are, and pure, honestly. Just a very almost like unscathed energy, like unscathed by other people. They're very secure in themselves, this shark person. But so maybe that could have been something in the past, difficulty for them to overcome in relationships. It could have been that relationships, they couldn't sniff out who was bad for them, with bad intentions. So maybe they had some relationships that ended poorly. Maybe that caused them to have trust issues. I believe it's more so that. Yeah, I think it's more so that rather than them never having trusted anyone to begin with, because, yeah, I think that because they're relatively unassuming. Some may even say naive, some who are like skeptics. I think that they probably are definitely more so the type of people to have to learn by trial and error that some people have bad intentions, rather than automatically think someone could have bad intentions. Even though I do think they are very intuitive, very in touch, I think that also probably confused them, because I think that they probably could intuitively feel people having bad intentions, but they'd be like, rationally, no, why would I think that? So they gave them chances, and then they were proven right later on. So we have escapist, come home to yourself. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful, because, saint, sinner, purgatory, come home to yourself. So it's, I'm judging myself to be a saint or a sinner. That is such, and I'm talking, as them. They're judging themselves to be saint or a sinner, and while they judge themselves, they're in purgatory that they have created, because, obviously they're still alive, and this isn't even to say that they believe in heaven, hell, and purgatory, but it's just to say that they have dreams, very intensely want to follow them. They have very strict moral code, and they are very distraught that they could have been wrong about something for so long, and that they're going to have to do something completely different, and it's a very uncomfortable feeling for them. But yeah, but ultimately, the beautiful thing is that they know that this is exactly what they have to do, because they do have the higher knowing to realize that they need to ultimately just do what they think will actually lead them to this true happiness that they're wanting to achieve. And so they thought to themselves, you know what, I had this one idea of what would bring me happiness. I was wrong. So now I need to pivot and do something else. And I know it's uncomfortable, and I know I feel this way, and I know I'm judging myself, but I also know that I shouldn't be judging myself, because I'm just trying to come home to myself. I'm just trying to do what is right. I'm just trying to achieve happiness, and as long as I do that, I'll be able to. And I think that very much this does have a little bit to do with their upbringing. Their family did sort of give them endings are inevitable. Beautiful, beautiful. Endings are inevitable. Exactly. That's what we're just saying. Their family definitely were able to give them this beautiful foundation of, you know what's best for yourself. You do what's right. We trust you. You should trust yourself. And so they're saying, yeah, this is what I'm trusting myself to do right now. And even though it's uncomfortable and I'm not enjoying it, this is what ultimately I'm meant to do. So before I read those two cards, I honestly don't even know what they said. I'm going to get one more set. Oopsies, I said one more. And well, two came out. Oh my gosh. Well, only two came out. So you know what? I'll do this. Oops. I'll cover them more. Do. And then the other one. The other three. Okay, so it's this. Oh my gosh. We had a lot of cards come out, but I think that they'll probably all be very straightforward and relevant, so we'll start. Endings are inevitable. I already read that one. Protest start a revolution. Yes, exactly. So when something's going wrong in your life, they will take the initiative to change it. And so I think that that's sort of, similar to, so when they meet you, I think that they will they are a very motivated, fiery person. They will very much go and see you and, you know, want to pursue you. And I think maybe before they would have had some things that could have just written off the logistics of your relationship. But again, only take what resonates. Maybe it's vice versa. Maybe it's on your end. But, and maybe, you know, it could have been you would give them the cold shoulder, and maybe before they would have just not stopped trying. But maybe, you know, they, you know that you're just dismissing them because you're making assumptions about them, for example, and so they actually still try to pursue you. So maybe it's, you know, start a revolution. They're realizing that they're still as motivated of a person, but they're realizing that maybe the exact ways that they're motivated needs to change because they want their life to be different than how it is right now. They want to be happier. Lavender, surround yourself with love. Beautiful. Oh, this is wrong. I was supposed, oh no, this is right now. Okay, good. Lavender, surround yourself with love. So yeah, this is energy of that family. I think that they really value family, and they're gonna really be able to see and want a family with you. And that just means, you know, a little close-knit community. And so they'll probably, you know, want to, even if it isn't, you know, literal baby children, pets, or it could just be, you know, a close-knit group of friends. And then it's also, you know, because they're already close with their family, it could just be, you know, wanting to move in with you, having a beautiful, nice, cozy home that they live in with you, a bed that they share with you, and then, you know, going on the weekends to visit your guys' family and do fun stuff. And so that'll be very, very important to them and you and your guys' relationship. Thorns, weave together the crown you deserve. Yes. So they're again, they're an admirable person. They're gonna be like a wonderful, mature, respectful role model for your children if you do have any, but also just like for everyone, literally for all the people you surround yourself with, for yourself. Also, I feel like you're probably pretty grown and mature too, because I feel like, you know, to come into union with someone like this, you know, both parties kind of need to be very, very mature, and to meet each other on that wavelength. But I think that they very much know what they deserve, and willing to show you what you deserve. They are willing to take and do what they want, but not in any sort of ruthless way, and just in a way, a very self-assured way. They have their dreams, make a real conscious effort, take real steps to achieve them, and they're kind, respectful, and mature as they do it. And they're self-aware, and they're just a very active, motivated person. They will really take steps to achieve their dreams. And again, this isn't even like talking about material wealth and, you know, getting a lot of money. I mean, and they could, just because of how hard their work ethic is, but it is just more so about their work ethic and how they have a life and they have, you know, a vision that they want to see into reality, and they are so motivated, and they're an active like co-creator in their life to make their life something beautiful. Stars, you can manifest your every wish. Thorns, weave together the crown you deserve. So this is like they have the tenacity to do it and to, you know, get through the thorns, even though they have setbacks, you know, even though they went their whole life thinking they would be right and this would give them happiness, and they realized they had the maturity and the strength to realize that they had to do something different. They, you know, went through that difficulty, those thorns, and they're actually able to manifest it and achieve it. They're able to ground it in reality. That is beautiful. Beautiful. Sun, paint the sun back into your sky. Yeah, they're willing to do it, even through the hardships. I feel like it really is. I'm getting the same message from all of these cards. Library, take control of your own narrative. Wow. I'm getting the same message. Shark, swim away from this situation. Wow. That is beautiful. That's just like, yeah, a confirmation. And this one has you, and this person really looks pregnant. So I think that you guys will probably go very quickly in your relationship. Even if you guys don't want traditional children, traditional marriage, a traditional relationship in that way, I think that you guys very much will still be deeply committed very quickly, and you'll have not the energy of those traditional marriages, but what I want to say is kind of just the energy that's associated with the love that's associated with being in those marriages. You know, I feel like so many people are roped into things like marriage and having children because they're fed an idea of how happy that they'll be, and they can feel that potential happiness inside of them, and so they want to feel that in real life, and so they go off and do these things that maybe they don't actually align with. And so I feel like very much you guys will be able to achieve, you guys will have that like dream love that basically everyone's striving for, more or less, in the relationships that they pursue, the romantic relationships. You guys, I mean, I'm just looking at how she looks a little, I don't know, it looks almost like, you know, some pregnancy photo shoot, because you can just, it almost looks like he's touching her belly. It looks like, you know, the belly is showing. And so it just reminds me of that energy of a newness, even if it isn't a literal pregnancy, which it most likely will not be, at least for a while. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if you guys are the type of people to be very dreamy in love, but also have a very grounded aspect where you're like, yeah, kids, pets, house, maybe, but first we want to live our life and have fun and do these things on this checklist. Yeah, that's beautiful. Oh my god. Okay. So now it's been an hour. So I'm gonna get a little bit more specific cards about just how, about how they manifest, how their person manifests themselves in a relationship, and Thorns just popped out again. Because, I just feel like it really is. And maybe your relationship, I wouldn't be surprised if you guys do have some trials and tribulations, maybe there is something, just logistically keeping you guys apart, and it could be something like distance, it could be something like family, cultural differences, it could be something like economic differences, it could just be something like one person looks like a player, and the other person looks very innocent, and then maybe like the roles are actually reversed, because I am getting the vibe that this shark probably looks a little intense, probably look very conventionally attractive, maybe intimidating, but I getting the vibe that they're just very, very genuine, down to earth, innocent, naive person on the inside, very affectionate, probably. I think that they're very affectionate. Probably not very good with words. I don't think that they're very verbal, but I think that they are very affectionate. Oh my god, I just like ramble and ramble and ramble. I mean, I know it's channeling, but it's so rambly and I talk so quickly. I really do just have, oh my gosh, I think I've been meaning, Spirit's been wanting me to do some readings like this for a while, but I've just been assuming I haven't had the energy, and so I think that's kind of, it's kind of that shark energy of a shark person, a lot of their energy can be boiled down to, I need to open my mind and step into this dreamy, emotional, in touch person that I really am deep down. So first we're gonna ask right before we end the reading, we're gonna ask, so how does the shark, how do they manifest themselves in a relationship? Oh, I'm getting such a good energy. already. And then the resurrection comes out. So how does this person manifest themselves in the, oh my gosh, so it's beautiful. It's like they're so receptive to things that you say, and maybe it could potentially take them a while to notice things. You know, maybe you have a love language and it takes them a while to pick up on it. But, you know, if you tell them about it, they will be so receptive to it, and they will really try to, you know, go along and make you feel loved in a way, like, in line with your love language. And so I feel like they're just so willing and eager to adjust their own behavior and how they act, to make you comfortable. Past lives, so you guys it's definitely giving me twin vibe energy. And Mother Mary, that's also like a very past lives religious type of thing. Yeah, you guys definitely have probably known each other in past lives, and I feel like that's probably what makes it very easy to become very committed very quickly, because it does feel very natural. It feels like you've known them before. They feel very comfortable talking to very quickly, and so you guys do get very committed very quickly. And Mother Mary, I honestly am going to ask for a clarifier for Mother Mary. Can I get a clarifier for Mother Mary? These cards just sort of, Gaia and love, wow. So I think it's honestly mostly the energy of something like, you know, maybe you guys were pretty disillusioned, and I'm getting the vibe that it's mostly you, probably. But I think that the energy of this relationship very much is kind of like a, wow, I didn't think that you were actually real. I didn't think that you existed. I can't believe, like, this is a miracle, genuinely, what happened. Gaia, all about the earth, being connected with everything, trusting everything, being in tune with the energy, very much of nature. So you guys could, like, love going out into nature together too. Could be something nature-like that brings you together. Maybe you have a common hobby, and, you know, eventually you guys, maybe you guys know each other as friends or informally as acquaintances for a little bit, and then eventually the shark person gets the audacity to come, the strength to come and talk to you. Because it is definitely something, you know, clarifying Mother Mary and love, universe, Gaia. Like Mother Mary and then Gaia. I feel like Gaia is almost like the mother of Mother Mary, because Gaia is just like, yeah, the nature, the universe, and Mother Mary is almost like, you know, almost like Mother Nature in a way, you know, maybe like the human almost embodiment of, you know, the femininity of nature around us. And then, you know, love. I feel like this person is very much a feminine energy, honestly. And so I feel like that they love nurturing you. I think that they do love, I think they love bringing you things. I think they love gifting you things, doing things for you, planning dates with you. They love helping you, because I think that you both have dreams, and I think that, you know, maybe it's something that, I don't know, it'll be different for different people, but I think that some of you, it's either you both are sort of looking for your dreams right now, or maybe you're pursuing a dream, or they just recently realized a new dream that they had. But I'm mostly getting their energy as they ended one dream and now they're off to try and find a new dream to motivate them, a new path for them. But I feel like your energy could be that you're already on a path. And so I think that they could be very excited for you that you're on a path to achieving something, and I think that they're going to really want to help you in every way to achieve that, because they do value that so much. Okay, so that's where I'm going to leave that, and now for the last messages, we're going to get some things about their appearance. So that's going to be the very, very, very last part of this long reading. So let's see. What about the shark's appearance? So let's see. So what about the shark's appearance? Eternal embrace. So I think that, yeah, look at the fire on the outside, but then like they're just hugging. So I think it is going to be something where they're definitely more approachable than they look. They're definitely more cuddly than you would expect them to be. I think they're more physically affectionate than you would think that they would be. Maybe you are too, and maybe you're slow to want to be physically affectionate because you just sort of assume that they won't enjoy it. But nope, they definitely do, and this will be a thing between you guys. And I think, just serendipity. Oh, beautiful. So I think that it's, what you have in mind of something, like they're going to be conventionally attractive. I think that they're going to be really hot to you, and they're going to be really hot to other people. And I think that it is very much going to be like, what you want exactly in a partner. Like they're probably going to look like that. They're going to have a lot of the similar attributes, and they're going to just also have the energy that you always wanted, the energy you always imagined. The judgment and divine order, these are very, very, synonymous, similar cards. So, along with serendipity, yeah, they could be like thicker, muscular. They could have blonde hair. Blonde or like strawberry blonde, maybe red hair. They definitely could actually like enjoy swimming. Yeah, they could have almost like the beachy vibe to them of being like blonde and fair skinned, or maybe, maybe even like tan and blonde, or like tan and like brown, that sort of like beautiful brown hair that's also been so visibly like bleached by the pool water and like by the sun. They could have just like a very beachy surfer type of energy. But yeah, I definitely think that that's not really who they are. I think that there's definitely some contrast between how they portray themselves and how they actually are, or how their external appearance looks. And I do think it is something to the extent of they look harsher than they are. And so even, I don't think the Beach Boy aesthetic is intimidating, but it could be Beach Boy aesthetic, and then you're always like, oh, no, like, that's definitely just not my type. Like, maybe I think that type is attractive, but no way. Like, I've never dated someone like that before. And then they see you and they try to approach you and you're really dismissing them. And yeah, they would normally be like, this person obviously isn't into me. But then, eventually they'd be like, hey, actually, why aren't you into me? Like, I think you're cool and it seems like you like me, but why are you, shutting down? Like, I promise I have good intentions. It could be something like that, take what resonates. I think that was just like, just another clarifying message that I've been reiterating this time. That could be for someone or a few of you. Yeah, I mean, I was getting already, before with we could meet in like a beach type energy, nature type energy. Even if it's like a pool or just like on a really hot day and like the sprinklers are going off in a small town or something, just something very summery, beachy, warm, tropical like that. Yeah, they could look like they're from somewhere like that. They could look sort of like the stereotypes of the people that look from there. So that's what I have for you, pile 3. So if you liked this video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely comment if you have absolutely any thoughts on this, because I am just generally very curious to see what resonates, if anything, how many people are watching this, how many people are interested, and how many people would want to see more readings from me in the future, because yeah, basically just to see if it's like worth it for me to keep spending my time and energy doing these things. And, you know, maybe even if, yeah, no one responds, I still may do it, but I may just do it more infrequently than if someone did respond like super enthusiastically. Okay, so goodbye, Pile 3 Shark reading. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a nice day or night.